What the jury found, Mr. Howard, is that you murdered your wife, that you assassinated your wife, that you strangled her, and then you staged her body, shot her through the mouth, and tried to pass this off as...
Broomfield Police! Broomfield Police! I understand. I need you to stay back here. Family's over here.
I was the person who attacked her.
It's clear to me that you're a remorseless killer, and so I do find that a fixed life sentence is appropriate for the count of murder in the second degree.
I love my wife, and she's gone. However, all right, thank you. You're here because the jury convicted you of brutally your wife.
Interrupting me while I'm talking. I don't interrupt you. So why do you keep interrupting me? I know you've
I've heard enough from you. You killed your wife. A jury of 12 convicted
a
you.
white jury that did not have any black jurors on there, and that's not law.
All right, hear me out. Shut up.
I can shut up.
Get him out of here.
I love my wife, and I miss her.
This is Dan Howard.
I'm sorry to inform you, but your wife is passed, sir.
No! God damn it!
A killer husband who tried to play the victim.
I didn't think it was a gunshot. I was downstairs, TV going. It sounded like something hit the floor or something. I don't know.
Yeah, he's upset, but it's not real waterworks or anything. He's freaking out and like gagging.
On February 2nd, 2021, Idaho Dispatch received a 911 call from a distressed husband.
My wife.
The caller was ex-state trooper Dan Howard. He had just found his wife dead in his bathtub and could barely get the words out over the phone.
Okay. Come on, I need you to help here. Okay, take a deep breath, honey, take a deep breath. Come on, I need you to help here. Okay?
Howard was still in tears when officers arrived on the scene.
Come on out! Come on out, sir. Over here, come on.
Right here.
On one. Stay out here, okay?
They gave him time to get a hold of himself while they investigated the scene.
Send in medical.
Got that? Yep.
They found Kendi Howard in the bathtub with a gunshot wound and no heartbeat.
She have anything?
No heartbeat.
Lividity?
Not seeing anything.
Her body was submerged in water, and the gunshot wound was detected inside her mouth. Outside, Dan was being consoled by Officer Marana Thomas.
Dan? Dan, can you have a seat for me?
Please, guys.
Yeah, you can sit if that's better for you. If that's better for you. I'm just trying to make you a little more comfortable, okay?
Minutes later, the other officers came out.
What's going on?
Sir, they have to do their job.
What is it?
They're gonna hold the scene in there. Medical's gonna go in there. They're gonna do their job.
Medical's gonna go in there and do their thing. This is their scene now.
Shortly after, the medical team arrived and examined Kendi's body before declaring her deceased. Officers then discussed the best way to break the news to her husband.
Do we want to tell him? I don't think did medical tell him that she dead?
I don't think so.
Do we want to tell him or do we want to wait? We better tell him. Okay.
Deputy Wheeler approached Dan with the bad news.
Dan? Hey, Dan, I'm Deputy Wheeler. I'm sorry to inform you, but your wife is passed, sir.
No! God damn it!
It seemed like Kendi's death had broken Dan.
I know this is tough.
I don't know.
But all wasn't as it seemed.
For a woman to shoot herself in the tub nude is unusual. It doesn't mean it can't happen, it just means that it's unusual.
Crime scene investigators noticed other things didn't add up.
There would be a lot more blood that was produced, and I just didn't see that on her face, on her body, or in the tub.
Officers had also found a packed duffel bag in the house. They also noticed the dryer running in the laundry room, and when they looked at the load, it was full of bath towels and mats.
Having a dryer running at midnight, very odd, because I don't do laundry at midnight. Sure, you could, but...
On top of that, Dan seemed to have freshly showered and changed his clothes. Kendy's friends and family were suspicious of Dan as well. Her brother recalled how things weren't too great between Dan and Kendi.
There was arguing, bickering, pretty much the whole time I'd be up there around them, but I didn't think it was anything.
He also believed that his sister would never take her own life.
Were you buying that?
No, I couldn't see her leaving her kids and granddaughter.
Kendy's best friend echoed the same sentiment.
Kendi was not depressed. You don't think about doing plastic surgery. You don't go work out. You don't go to spin class.
Kendy's brother even confronted Dan.
There was no emotion. He wasn't crying. I asked him if he'd ever hurt my sister, and he wouldn't look me in the eye, and he said no.
Besides the family's suspicions, there were other things that the investigators found suspicious, like signs of obvious struggle leading up to Kendy's death.
Up in the master bedroom, we noted on the floor that there were pieces of broken glass. Everything started directing us to the path that this was a staged crime scene.
But the officers might have dismissed that if it wasn't for one phone call.
I'm not home. They are here. What do you mean you don't hear them? They're right here.
That call was between Dan and his stepdaughter, Brooke, who started yelling at him the moment she found out that her mother was dead.
What? What are you talking about? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Oh, no. I'm not saying you are.
The officers grilled Dan about the phone call.
She just accused you of this? No. Let's see what it sounded like. Why would she do that, Dan? Why would she think you did this?
Dan tried to deny his way out.
Dan, I was across the room and I could hear her. Oh, I know. She's angry. Why would you think you did this? What in the world would give her that impression?
He then claimed that Brooke was simply in denial about her mother's decision to leave her behind.
What in the world would give her that impression?
There's no way in the world she believed her mom would want to believe their moms would do that.
Well, they also don't want to believe that their dad would do it.
Yeah. Right.
So why would she? I haven't heard somebody that angry in a long time.
Investigators decided to get Brooke's perspective.
What do you think happened?
I know he shot her. I know. I don't feel like there's probably going to be anything to prove that.
But the officers found enough evidence to charge Dan with Kendy's murder.
Dan, I think you killed your wife.
I have no idea.
You did it, didn't you, Dan?
No, I didn't.
I didn't think so. Because I got to tell you, that phone call put chills down my spine.
During the trial, the prosecution asserted that Dan Howard suffocated his wife using a technique he learned at work.
Dan Howard is an ex-Marine. I mentioned to you earlier he had a law enforcement career. He started that career in California. And it was in California where he first trained with what is called the carotid restraint technique.
The prosecutor then explained how the restraint was different than a regular choke and could kill without leaving behind any obvious signs.
It is different than a chokehold. Chokehold is when you cut somebody's oxygen off. Carotid restraint is when you cut their blood flow off. And when you cut somebody's blood flow off, they pass out. But when you apply that technique too long, they die.
The prosecution also brought an expert witness to testify that Kendi had been strangled before she died.
These images that you've looked at and told us about, these are all consistent with signs of suffocation.
Suffocation and some sort of trauma to the nose and mouth.
The defense pointed out that there was evidence to suggest that Kendi had killed herself.
Her hand position and the gun position is consistent with.
And because that was still a possibility, Dan couldn't be guilty beyond a reasonable doubt.
The evidence is not impossible and has not been eliminated, and therefore we'll be asking you to find the defendant not guilty.
The prosecution refuted that by bringing Kendi's friend to the stand to testify that she didn't like guns.
For many years of friendship with Ms. Howard, did you come to know her opinion of guns?
Kendi didn't want to handle guns. Her and I had a very long conversation about it.
The state also pointed at the gun's angle, which suggested that someone else pulled the trigger.
But most of those intraoral gunshot wounds go up to the brain to kill the person. They have an upward trajectory. I talked about an upward trajectory is a more ergonomical trajectory for someone attempting to shoot.
After hearing both sides, the jury deliberated for 8 hours before coming back with its verdict.
Count 1, is the defendant Daniel C. Howard guilty or not guilty of domestic battery? Guilty. Count 2, is the defendant Daniel C. Howard guilty or not guilty of murder in the first degree? Not guilty.
And just when it seemed like Dan was off the hook, the court official read the rest of the verdict.
Is the defendant Daniel Howard guilty or not guilty of second-degree murder? Guilty.
At his sentencing, Howard insisted that he was not the monster he was painted as by the prosecution.
I'm not that monster, I assure you, that people portrayed me to be.
He said that he had a good life with Kendi and would never harm her.
Kendi and I had 28 years together and raised a family, had mostly a good marriage and a good life.
He teared up towards the end of his statement.
I love my wife, and I miss her, and I love my in-laws, Jamie and Wendell, and my stepdaughter, Brooke, who I raised since an infant, and her daughter, Kinley, that I helped raise for 5 years when we took him into our house.
He said that he was a shell of the man he once was.
Words cannot describe. I mean, I stand before you, shell of a man I used to be.
But would this attempt to convince the judge of his innocence get him a lenient sentence?
But what we know, beyond a reasonable doubt, is that you strangled your wife, you murdered her, and then you staged her body in the bathtub, shot her through the mouth, and tried to pass us off as that's proven beyond a reasonable doubt.
Dan realized that he had failed to win over the judge.
When you killed Kendi, you didn't just kill your wife. You killed a mother, you killed a grandmother, you killed a sister, you killed a daughter, you killed a coworker. You killed somebody who brought a lot of life and light to those around her and those she touched.
After that came the sentence.
The nature and gravity of the offense standing alone is sufficient to justify a fixed life sentence. And that is what I'm going to impose here.
Watching Dan Howard's body cam footage, it's clear he believed his fake tears were enough to get away with murder. And for a moment, it almost worked. But compared to Daniel Krug's far more elaborate plan and even stronger performance, it looks almost amateur.
And I want to know what happened. There's only one person in this room that can tell us.
On December 14th, 2023, Daniel Krug called the police to report that he could not reach his wife.
No tools missing. The bikes are all hanging on the wall still. None of those are gone.
Got it.
Skis are in there, golf clubs. Everything seems to be there.
Okay.
Except a spare key.
The house key.
Under normal circumstances, this might not be urgent, but Krug's wife had been receiving threatening texts from an unknown stalker. She suspected that the man behind those messages was Jack Holland, her boyfriend from 20 years ago.
I have an ex from a very long time ago who has occasionally, over the last 20 years, found me on social media apps or whatever and contacted, and it's never been an issue until this month. So this month, I have received numerous text messages, and then today I got an email that is very threatening, threatening against both me and my family.
The main reason behind that suspicion was that the stalker referred to himself as Anthony, which was Jack's middle name. And also because Jack did at one point try to get back into her life.
My last contact with this individual was 4 or 5 years ago, something like that. Ended on a social media app of messages back and forth, where I told him I was happily married. I had no interest in what he kept contacting me. He kind of blew things up and then blocked me. I blocked him, haven't heard from him since.
So when an unknown stalker started messaging her, she thought it was Jack. She even sat with an officer and explained why she suspected her ex of being the stalker.
It was pretty alarming, right? Where he's like, we're meant to be together, and my family loves that we're talking. I'm like, whoa, you think that we're like in a relationship? Right. So I shut it down real hard. I said, this is really creepy for me. You need to stop. I'm married, happily married with children. You need to stop. And he got like real emotional, real hurt. It wasn't angry, but it was hurt and real like over the top emotions. And then blocked me on, because you can see when somebody blocks you on Facebook.
Crystal was actually surprised at how her ex could have found a way to contact her again.
And I blocked him, and then I shut down Facebook entirely before the pandemic. So there was no way to get a hold of me on any kind of old email address or old way, and that's when this starts.
Little did she know that her ex wasn't the stalker. But before she could find that out, she was killed.
Hi there. My name is Dan Krug. I don't think this is an emergency, but this feels really weird. My wife isn't responding to text messages or phone calls. Okay. We've had threats against us. She was supposed to meet with Detective Martinez today, but I can't get a hold of him. Can I get either someone in the house to check in with Martinez, or maybe both, maybe a wellness check at the house?
Hello.
Oh, I'm their neighbor, and they called me. Like, can you go see if she'll answer this?
Oh, yeah, he sent us as well, so.
Okay, I'm like,
Just next door? Okay.
All right, well, you got this.
All righty, man. Appreciate it. $151, send medical, and 110. I need a 4th sentry. I got a female down in the garage. Broomfield Police! Broomfield Police!
Oh, Is her husband almost here?
Is he? No, is she gone?
We want to give you guys all the information all together, okay? We don't want to have to repeat the information over and over for you guys to continue anything, so.
He said he was on.
And you're her mother, you said? Okay.
Where are you on I-25? They want us all here to tell us before they say anything. 15, 20 minutes. You're 15, 20 minutes away.
Okay.
This is my house.
I understand. I need you to stay back here. Family's over here. Family's over here.
Her husband was inconsolable. Because he was the last person who had seen her, the investigators wanted to talk to him.
Because this interaction's been like leading up to this. Tested. I felt like she was keeping the secrets away. She didn't tell me about the command. She keeps disappearing for hours.
Craig was trying to paint his wife as a cheater, but all he did was give the detectives a strong motive.
She would leave and be gone. She kept leaving early, coming home late.
If Crystal was indeed having an affair, then Krug could be the killer. But apparently, Crystal's stalker had threatened his life as well.
Today he sent an email to me with a picture of my husband, asking if this was my husband. It's a recent picture of either today or within the last couple of days, because it's in his work location with snow on the ground. And saying that he hopes he drives real safe and that nothing gets in his tailpipe.
But it turned out that her husband was the one who sent that email. The IP address of the stalker matched that of Krug's workplace. The messages that Crystal had been receiving were coming from his device.
The Gmail account, the Kickman account that you guys initially received with the photo of you in it, and the phone number, those originated through their IP addresses at your office.
Doesn't make any sense.
Because I guess the biggest concern is just the timing of everything, that it just doesn't quite make sense to have somebody create an account, take a photo, and then immediately send it off, and then the account is no longer being used. We might create an account to see if we can create a facade or see if Christine's actually interested in it. So we ask her and push the bounds a little bit. You don't get the response and the openness you once did for about 28 days, from October 2nd to October 31st. So you amp it up a little bit. Send a photo of yourself to her and an account you create. See what her response is.
None of this makes any sense.
Things are certainly pointing in one direction right now. Am I under arrest? It sounds like you're accusing me.
That reaction confirmed the detective's suspicions.
We have a lot of information that points your direction, and we were hoping that you could provide a legitimate explanation other than it wasn't me.
Because there's no other logical explanation.
I want to know what happened to her. Did she fight? Did she get shots on her? Where is she in the house?
We haven't been there to know, and there's only one person in this room that can tell us.
I think you know the answer to all those questions. We've been chasing the wrong dog.
Krug was charged with first-degree murder. He pleaded not guilty and had his day in court, where the prosecution revealed with a trail of digital evidence that Krug was indeed his wife's stalker. The key piece of evidence was the IP address from which the threatening messages were sent. It belonged to Krug's work address. Krug could also be placed at the crime scene around the estimated time of the murder. So the jury verdict didn't go in Krug's favor.
We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of murder in the first degree.
He remained frozen as the rest of the verdict was read.
Guilty of count number 2, stalking, extreme emotional distress. We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of count number 4, criminal impersonation.
Krug killed his wife and tried to frame her ex. But what happens when an anniversary trip ends in murder? Like in the case of Joseph Feriazzo.
I was holding my Glock, and she started just coming up at me, and I just fired.
Joseph Feriazzo married Emily, a woman 21 years his younger. Emily's parents disapproved of the romance and found Feriazzo to be too controlling. Emily's friends thought that the marriage wouldn't even last a year, given Feriazzo's tendency to go into fits of rage if his wife stayed out too late, even for work. But the couple made it and decided to celebrate their one-year anniversary with a romantic road trip in Feriazzo's camper. While they were driving through Vermont, Feriazzo made a quick pit stop at his sister's Airbnb. Feriazzo's sister asked him where his wife was. He said that she was back in the camper. After that, Feriazzo went on to visit other people, including those who knew Emily, but he never brought her along. At one point, he met up with his in-laws again without Emily. They asked where their daughter was, and Feriazzo said they had an argument, after which she walked out. After he insisted that he didn't know where Emily was, her parents reported her missing. By then, Feriazzo was gone as well. The search for Emily went on for several days, but she was hard to find, and for good reason.
Vermont State Police are looking for a New Hampshire woman who disappeared from the town of Bolton. Officials say 22-year-old Emily Feriazzo from Northfield was last seen Saturday afternoon. They say she and her husband were staying in an Airbnb. They say the couple had an argument and Feriazzo went for a walk. Her husband says he went to the store and when he came back, he couldn't find her.
Her husband, on the other hand, had been spotted. By then, Joseph had abandoned his camper and made his way to a friend's house. At one point, he asked his friend to drop him off at the camper's location, but they found the place swarming with troopers. That's when Feriazzo made a confession, telling Spencer that he had killed Emily. Spencer immediately called 911.
Yes, my name is Spencer Lemons. I've got a guy that is going towards St. Albans on Route 36. He came to my house. He lives in a bus thing. He was like, hey, we go pick up my bus, and we go to pick up his bus in St. Albans, and there's a bunch of cops out front. I said, what the heck is going on? He says he killed his wife.
Spencer told dispatch that he had kicked Feriazzo out of his car, but knew where he was headed.
He's on this road, and I guess there's a bunch of state troopers at that place. And I was like, no, but you got to get out of my car, and I was afraid I got to get him out.
During the interrogation, Feriazzo was surprisingly forthcoming.
Fair to say that you have an idea of what we want to talk about? Yeah. All right. I'm here to talk to you. Like, you don't have to be there. Okay. What's up?
He told the detective that he shot Emily after an argument.
My wife went completely bizarre, completely psychotic, and I shot her. Then here we are.
Then there was the question of what happened to her body, which was quickly answered when the cops closed in on Feriazzo's camper. She was cut into pieces that were loaded in the back of Feriazzo's camper. The detective asked Feriazzo if he had a plan if the police had not caught him.
I didn't really have a plan. I was just going to, take it into the woods and drop it off. I took her body and put it in multiple bags. Tell me about that. How did you put her body? Used a saw and cut her body into smaller, backed it up, and I was going to take it into the woods.
Feriazzo was charged with murder, but despite admitting to killing his wife, he pleaded not guilty. His reason? Self-defense.
She kicked Remy, and she was kicking me and punching me, and I pushed her back.
Feriazzo took the stand to describe how he ended up shooting his wife.
I had I was holding my Glock, and she started just coming up at me, and I just fired.
Why?
She was gonna shoot me.
And you were afraid?
Very.
Then he described what he did to the body.
Do you remember up?
I have one flash of memory where I into her leg with a knife.
Feriazzo had a hard time remembering certain details, but the prosecutor remembered everything.
He decides that he needs to make her body easier to carry, easier to move, and easier to discard. Mr. Feriazzo uses this serrated saw and discards her arms, her legs, her feet, and her head.
Every step that the prosecutor described poked holes in Feriazzo's self-defense claims.
At least 3 different knives were used. Her heart 1 time, her abdomen 8 times, and her back 9 times. Then he puts each piece of her body in garbage bags.
And by the time she was done, the jury was convinced that Feriazzo was guilty.
How do you find Mr. Feriazzo on the count of first-degree murder, guilty or not guilty? Guilty.
At Feriazzo's sentencing, Emily's close friends delivered an emotional impact statement describing how the two had connected over a Minions movie.
Emily was my minion. I was her group. Now, every time I see a Minion toy, sticker, or advertisement, I think of her. What I wouldn't give to call out for my minion and to hear her answering Gru.
Emily's friend Lauren delivered a statement that started with how the two met as little girls.
Joseph Feriazzo took away my closest friend I ever had. I met Emily in the 2nd grade in the girls' bathroom, and she had called me by my twin's name because they had been in the same classroom. She was confused how my sister had changed outfits so quickly, and I responded by telling her that my name was Lauren, her identical twin. From that moment on, we were best friends. More than that, Emily was my soul sister.
A soul sister that Joseph had taken away.
Emily loved with her entire being, and it was taken advantage of, broken down, and manipulated until it was snuffed out by a sad, angry, despicable, and lonely man.
She called Joseph a coward.
Joe is a coward who couldn't accept that Emily would never bow down to him. My mental state hasn't been the same, and I still have severe emotional breakdowns.
Then she described how Joseph had desecrated Emily's body.
How Joseph just couldn't get enough after shooting her twice through a pillow because he was too much of a coward to look her in the face. But he stabbed her 18 times and reduced her to body pieces in trash bags, sitting in a tiny bathroom.
The defense read character letters to make Joseph look more sympathetic.
I first met Joseph and immediately felt comfortable. Little did I know we would hit it off and he'd become my best friend and brother. When I think of Joseph, I think of a fun, adventurous, nature-loving, peaceful individual. I've known Joseph Feriazzo for approximately 13 years through his endeavors and passion for tattoos and piercings.
But none of the letters won over the judge, who reiterated the horrendous nature of Feriazzo's crime.
This is an horrendous crime. It is an act of cruel and extreme domestic violence that the jury clearly found not only failed entirely to make out self-defense, but lacked any provocation that might reduce the crime to second-degree murder or voluntary manslaughter.
He also commented on how nonchalant Feriazzo was after killing and dismembering his wife.
There is a detachment that appears to allow him to have a nice meal with his sister within 8 or 9 hours of having killed Emily.
Then, after concluding his remarks, the judge announced the verdict.
On the conviction for first-degree murder will be 42 and a half years to life to serve.
Feriazzo will spend at least 42 years in prison before being eligible for parole. But what happens when a TikToker starts getting jealous of his wife?
This lured me to San Diego for what? So she could be with all her friends?
Stop lying to them, Ollie.
No, it's the truth. Yeah, you got friends now. Now you don't have a husband. Okay.
Like in the case of Ali Abulaban, who murdered his wife after finding her with another man. Abulaban and Anna met in 2014 when he was serving as an airman in Okinawa, Japan. The two started dating while Anna was in the process of getting a divorce from her husband at the time. At one point, Abulaban assaulted someone during an argument and was discharged from the Air Force. He returned to Virginia, and Anna moved back to the Philippines. Then he learned that Anna was pregnant and decided to bring her to the U.S. Anna and Ali lived happily with their daughter, but their lives were about to change.
You're not supposed to be here. Get out!
Ali started posting skits on TikTok and became a micro-sensation. His impression of video game characters got him thousands of followers, and his movie villain impressions were even more successful.
You wanna fuck with me? Okay! God, okay! Do you wanna play against? Okay, I play with you. Do you wanna play rough? Okay!
Anna would occasionally appear in Ali's videos, but besides that, she had nothing else to do except house chores. She was unhappy and isolated in Virginia. Then, she found out that some of her childhood friends from Japan had moved to San Diego.
She reconnected with friends from Japan who are now living in San Diego, and she visited it on a solo girls trip. She loved it. She had a great time. She was happy to be reconnected.
After visiting her friends, Anna started asking Ali to move to San Diego, and he was open to it because of his own aspirations.
I saw that it was it would open a door for me to go to LA easier. Oh, I thought it'd be easier to collaborate with LA content creators, yes.
But after moving to San Diego, things took a turn for the worse. Anna started going out with her friends frequently, which bothered Ali.
Well, he told me that he was going through a tough time, obviously, with his marriage. It was upsetting him a lot, and it was hard for him to deal with it. So in general, he seemed always a little on edge and paranoid. And he also was suspicious that his wife was cheating on him, so...
He started suspecting Anna of cheating, which made the relationship worse.
He said that he was suspicious that she was out partying and cheating with other people, and he didn't like that.
Ollie would routinely go through Anna's phone and get angry if she was texting a guy.
Give me my phone back. Ollie, give me my phone back.
Marriott Marquise, that's the place you had the birthday.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're going?
I'm not going.
Luke's gonna be there.
I told you we're going to the hotel.
Yeah,
Luke
this is
not
the after
there.
party, and
Luke
you're
is
going.
not there.
Yeah?
Why do you think I can bring a kid?
Yeah?
Because nobody's there but girls, you stupid.
He would record and broadcast many of his arguments. At one point, he got physically violent, and Anna contacted her friends for help.
She seemed in distress. She seemed very worried, and she was telling us initially how Ollie used to beat her, and she was scared for her life.
When her friends comforted her, Ollie started claiming that they were a bad influence and were ruining his marriage. All the while, he berated Anna on a live stream.
I'll bring you to San Diego for what? So you can run to your friends? You're not even an American citizen. I brought you to this country. Name one man that would do that for you.
What he did not know was that Anna had dialed 911 and that the operator was listening to the whole thing.
Yeah, just don't say anything to him. That way he doesn't flare up again.
Oh, great. You were on the phone with police while I said that? Wow. I thought you were done with the phone call. Okay, great.
Are we on speaker? Yes, ma'am. Can you take me off the speaker, please? Yes.
Ollie fled the apartment after realizing that the cops were on their way.
San Diego Police Department.
Yes, I'm here. I think he just left that house.
You just left?
Yeah.
Is it just you?
It's just me. My daughter's here. She's
Yeah.
Yes.
Anna told the officers that her husband had pushed her off the bed, leading to multiple injuries.
You're on your knees right here, fixing the suitcase, removing stuff.
Yeah.
And then he pushed you over there. And then, can you show me where your body part contacted that?
It's like right here, like my head. It's right here.
The officers advised her to get a restraining order, but she refused. She tried to work things out with Ali, but he only got more abusive until Anna decided that one of them had to leave the apartment.
He stayed there because he didn't want to leave and didn't want her to leave him. So she had to leave and go live with Claire and with her child. She didn't leave Amir with the defendant, a violent abuser. She took her child.
Anna told her friend Claire that Ali had been hitting her.
When Anna told you that the defendant would hit her, was she specific in where on her body the defendant would hit her?
Her face, or sometimes she would maybe the arms, and then he would also grab her. I saw the results of that whenever Anna would call me to pick her up. I would see the marks on her face.
When Anna started living with Claire to escape Ali's abuse, he wooed her back by putting on a remorseful front.
Hey, Anna. Just want to say good morning. Good morning to Amira. I just figured instead of texting you, I'll send you a video. My intention here is to just let you know I get it. And I'm so sorry. I really am so sorry for what I'm putting you through. How stupid. What happened to me? It was the drugs? Was it my insecurities?
But when Anna moved back, Ali became abusive again.
She don't think. She don't think. She don't think. And you know what? Goodbye to your little citizenship there, Miss Filipino. But I'm not petty. I don't call the police on people I love. Get out of here, bro. This lured me to San Diego for what? So she could be with all her friends?
Stop lying to them, Ollie.
No, it's the truth. Yeah, you got friends now. Now you don't have a husband. Okay.
The cycle continued until Anna decided to end their relationship.
During the time that Anna was living with you, she was separated from the defendant, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And were there many times where the defendant would call Anna and continue to try to talk to her and get back together with her?
Yes, ma'am. Can you rephrase the question?
Were there times where you would hear Anna talking with the defendant about the status of their marriage?
Yes.
She started getting close to her friend Rayburn Barron, whom Ali had always been suspicious of.
The second time I saw him at the party, I got him a beer and sat down with him and attempted to have a civil conversation.
And you didn't like him, though, after that, right?
No, I had decided that he's not interested in a friendship with me. He's interested in Anna.
Now, the same Rayburn was spending a lot of time with his estranged wife.
Ray was a single man entitled to date whoever he wanted, and Anna was separated from the defendant, and they're entitled to be together.
But Ali kept trying to control Anna.
Enough! Ollie, enough! You know, can somebody please help me? Hello? Ollie!
Stop.
Give me the phone! I'm hurting my finger! I'm trying to leave this house!
Yeah, that's not cool.
Give me my phone!
With a bunch of guys?
Give me my phone!
A bunch of guys, huh?
Give me my phone! There's no guys! Give me my phone!
In the end, Anna agreed to move back to Ali's apartment only if he promised to leave. So Ali gave Anna the keys and moved to a hotel that his dad had paid for. But unbeknownst to Anna, Ali had kept a spare key to the apartment.
She did not know how he had access to the apartment because she was under the assumption that he no longer had access because he had given her his keys to get into the apartment.
At one point, he broke into the apartment and noticed that Anna had thrown the flowers he gave her in the trash. He also saw his daughter's iPad and installed an app on it to spy on Anna.
He immediately activated that Discord application. He hid the iPad so no one would see it, so Anna wouldn't see that he was spying on her.
Later that day, he listened in on Anna, and what he heard seemed to confirm his suspicions. The man was Rayburn Barron, and he was with Anna at the apartment.
I woke up and I hear giggling. I hear a man laughing. And then I hear Anna's voice. And I'm half asleep and I'm just absorbing all this. And then immediately I'm like, oh my God, that's Anna. Oh my God, who's that man? Who's that man? Oh my God, there's a man. I'm saying this out loud to myself, freaking out.
Abulaban got his gun and made his way to the apartment. He appeared to be in a hurry and was visibly worked up. He knew what he was going to find.
I put it in the bedroom because I was trying to catch them having sex. So when I heard their voices loud and clear, my mind thinks they're in the bed.
Ali dashed out of the elevator even before it fully opened and started running towards the apartment. He barged in and saw Anna with Ray on the living room couch.
He opened the door, he wrapped that gun. A little over 1 second later, he pointed that gun towards Anna and Ray. He put his finger on the trigger and he fired the first shot.
The first shot didn't hit anyone, but Ali kept going.
And then a second or two later, he wrapped the gun again. He walked towards Anna and Ray. He put his finger on the trigger and he fired 4 more shots.
He killed Ray first, followed by Anna, who was begging for mercy the entire time.
Then he stood in front of Anna. He wrapped the gun again and he fired a shot into her head. And before he did that, he said respect, because she didn't respect him.
For some reason, Ali was recording the audio of the whole thing with the phone in his pocket. He also snapped photos of the dead bodies.
He took a photo of his dead victims. He did that on purpose. He was proud of what he did.
He sent the photos to his parents and friends while he was at the crime scene. He was captured behaving erratically, but it could all be an act. Shortly after, Ali called his mother and confessed to killing Anna.
I just like to live to everyone else. I just like to live. I can't see everyone else. I have to live in school. I have to live in school. She's here. She's here.
He apologized to her and asked if she was mad at him. Then he called 911 to report the incident.
San Diego emergency, dispatcher 8107.
Yes, ma'am. My wife and another man were, I found them dead on the couch. Bullet hole into the face.
Wait, someone was shot?
2 people, a man and my wife.
Throughout the call, Ali acted like he had discovered the bodies.
Stand by.
Please help my wife. Please help.
Okay, hold on, sir.
Sir, stand by. I'm bringing on my supervisor. What is your name?
My name is Ali.
Ali? Okay.
Yes, I'm her husband.
Tell me what you saw when you went in there.
I saw my wife on the couch with something out of her head.
Wife is on the
I don't know who he is. His name is, I know him. His name is Ray. I couldn't even breathe when I saw it. It was so terrible.
Ali left the building before the officers arrived. He was on his way back to pick up his daughter from school. Meanwhile, the officers were busy securing the crime scene.
We got two down. Emergency entry. I need a team. Clears that. Someone came here and shot them. That's the guy that he's describing. They both took rounds to their head.
They left one cop to guard the apartment and went after Ali.
Do me a favor, help out with security for us. I don't want someone coming back, doubling back over here and smoking us, okay?
They got the parking records of the apartment to identify his vehicle. After sending out an APB, they received word that Ali's Jeep had been spotted outside his daughter's school.
I got it. I know, but we don't want to contaminate.
He asked the cops to let his daughter ride with them to the station.
My mother wants to get her.
I don't want anyone else to get in the car.
No, it's just my daughter. Please, she's sick.
You understand now? You're gonna.
I care about her.
We're gonna make. I understand. We're gonna make sure she's all right, man.
All right, but can my mom not her? I'm saying my mom is driving to Vegas to try to come get her.
Okay. Take this off your neck. Put everything in the
The request was not entertained. Ali was taken to the police station where he was charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. In a pretrial hearing, Ali cursed out his wife when an investigator revealed that she was at a hotel with Rayburn.
Anna inviting Ray to over to the hotel that she was staying at.
Okay. Mr. Abulaban?
Yes, sir. I'm sorry, this is news to me.
Ali also talked to the media and started laying out the foundations for his insanity defense.
As you're driving to the apartment. What happens when you get to the apartment?
He claimed that seeing Rayburn with his wife made him snap. During his trial, Abulaban had several outbursts.
Don't inject your own to the story.
We're going to take a break. Let's
you think I wanted this? All right, fuck you, I wanted this! Who the are you?
Mr. Abulaban? Mr. Abulaban, I need you to stop. Mr. Abulaban, I need you to stop. Mr. Abulaban, I need you to stop.
But he remained silent when his own mother took the stand to testify against him.
And he called you after the shooting happened, is that correct?
Yes.
Do you recall talking to him on the phone?
I just recall saying, that's not funny. That's not funny, Holly. Don't say that. That's not funny. And then I received the picture. I looked and I deleted it right away. And I hung up the phone and I literally fell on the ground.
Anna's friend Claire also took the stand.
Yes, he would hit Anna and
where on her body the defendant would hit her?
Face, or sometimes he would maybe the arms, and then he would also grab her. Ali would hit her around Amira.
But the witness who turned the most heads was Abulaban himself.
Ali Abulaban.
Please spell both of those names.
ALI-ABULABAN.
He admitted to breaking into the apartment and finding the roses he had given Anna crushed.
The circumstances of what I'm seeing. My roses crushed. The makeup bag open. Her saying she's home but she's not. The lack of acknowledgement of my... the cheating thing was going on. The suspicion of that she's cheating on me had been going on for months.
Ali accepted that he had trashed the apartment in a fit of rage.
Yeah, I started rummaging the apartment. I started throwing some of her stuff away. I threw away her makeup. I smashed some of the groceries. I threw the roses on the ground. I was having a huge tantrum. I was triggered. I was explosive. At that point, I'm just acting on impulse and rummaging, and I'm throwing away her shoes, I'm throwing away her bikinis and stuff like that.
Then, he admitted to installing Discord on his daughter's iPad to spy on his wife.
I didn't want to lose this opportunity to catch it. So in that moment, I saw my daughter's iPad on the table, and like a stupid idea that just right on the spot, Discord.
He also described what he heard through the app and how he reacted.
I hear a man laughing, and then I hear Anna's voice, and I'm half asleep, and I'm just absorbing all this, and then immediately I'm like, oh my God, that's Anna. Oh my God, who's that man? Who's that man? Oh my God, there's a man. I'm saying this out loud to myself, freaking out.
Ali claimed to have taken drugs before heading over to the apartment.
I gathered my keys, I grabbed my coke, I started to do a couple bumps because I knew, okay, there's a man in my house. I need to be focused because I want to be in the zone here.
On his way, he kept listening in via Discord.
I was hearing, I heard that they were making fun of me. He was like, did Ali make this mess? I didn't know who he was. He's like, did Ali make this mess? She says, yeah, and he bought me these cheap ass flowers. Let me just tell you, when you hear your wife talk shit about you to an undisclosed man, that's f***ing painful.
Ali claimed that he started speeding so he could interrupt Ray and Anna before they had sex.
Then what happened was the voices stopped. Suddenly there was silence, and I'm like, what? Why don't I hear anything? Why'd they stop talking? Next I start hearing R&B music playing.
He described everything in detail until the moment he opened the apartment door.
I didn't even wait for the door to open. I was running. I used my key card. The only thing I had in my hand was my key card. I opened the door. I barged in. I was immediately startled. I stopped right in my tracks like a deer in the headlights. They weren't in the bedroom. They weren't having sex. They're right there, cuddling on the couch.
He claimed that he lost control when he saw Anna with Rayburn.
I didn't expect that Anna would ever do that to me. Him, of all people. I mean, she knew how I felt about him. She knew how I felt.
Abulaban acted like a jilted husband who went too far in the heat of the moment.
And I turn around and I see Anna leaning forward and there's blood. And I'm like, Anna! I couldn't believe I did that.
But he couldn't keep up the act during the cross-examination.
Again, you were with another woman, but you did not want Anna to be with another man.
I felt terrible about what I did. And I didn't want to do that. I wanted to be with my wife. She was not home for long periods of time, and she was telling me mixed messages.
So, you being with Miss Sanchez is Anna's fault?
No, but it's why I was vulnerable in that moment for that to happen.
When the prosecutor pointed out his hypocrisy, he started showing his true colors.
And you shot her because she had disrespected you and was with Ray, correct?
No.
Right after you shot Anna in the head, you pushed her head down into Ray's lap, right?
Oh, good. I'm not going to tolerate this.
Ali had claimed that he was blinded by rage, but the prosecutor pointed out that he had killed Anna with a precise shot to the head.
And you made the choice to fire another shot, correct?
No.
Correct? That's what you did.
That's what happened, but I didn't. Why the f would I want to shoot Anna?
You stood in front of Anna and racked your gun right in front of her head, correct?
I don't remember.
And then you shot her in the forehead, correct?
I don't even remember how that happened. I just remember heading to the door.
Ali stuck with his story, so the prosecutor reminded the jury that he had multiple chances to stop.
What were his other choices? He could have not gone into the apartment to activate the Discord application. He could have not gone to the apartment once he heard the voices. He could have just done one of his usual recordings on his phone, on the Discord application or otherwise, to prove to everyone in life that Anna was cheating on him. That's all he had to do. But no, he had to go kill them.
She pointed out that Ali had made a deliberate choice to bring his gun along way before he saw Anna with Rayburn.
He could have not brought a loaded gun to the apartment. If he wanted to confront Anna and Ray, or Anna and whatever man he thought she was with, about cheating on him, he could have just gone there, Again, they punched someone, yelled at them, recorded them, and left.
But Ali did not stop. He kept shooting until Ray and Anna were dead.
He could have not fired the first shot. He could have chosen not to fire the second shot, not to fire the third shot, not to fire the fourth shot, not to fire the fifth shot.
After hearing both sides, the jury returned with its verdict.
The jury in the above entitled cause find the defendant, Ali Nasser Abulaban, guilty of the crime of murder in the first degree.
Despite the verdict, Ali insisted on his innocence in his pre-sentencing statement.
In fact, the jury foreman himself told Fox 5 news reporters that a few of the jurors wanted to pick second degree, but were pressured not to by the rest of the jury. I think that speaks for itself, loud and clear, that reasonable doubt was intentionally overlooked, and that justice was not the motivating factor behind the decision. It was vengeance.
He claimed that his automatic sentence for first-degree murder was not fair.
And now I am left with no other option but to spend the rest of my life in prison. That means in 50 years from now, should I still be alive, I would still not be considered for release. I don't think that's fair at all.
After that, it was Judge Jeffrey Frazier's turn to speak, and he did not hold back.
He's a very talented actor. He is a very talented actor. When I saw the Scarface videos, it's as if when he committed these crimes, he became that persona of Scarface. Just the cold-blooded killing without remorse. Any tears that he's cried in this courtroom have been for himself. I don't know if he's really sorry.
Then he gave Abulaban the maximum sentence possible.
He will die in prison. He will never be a free man. He will take his last breath there.
Ali Abulaban went from playing villains on TikTok to becoming one in real life. But what happens when a hero turns out to be a killer? Like in the case of Oscar Pistorius, a star athlete who took his girlfriend's life. On February 14th, 2013, news channels in South Africa were abuzz with activity.
We can confirm that there was a shooting incident this morning at the home of the well-known Paralympic athlete Oscar Pistorius. At this stage, we can confirm that a young woman, a 30-year-old woman, did die on the scene of gunshot wounds.
Model Riva Steenkamp had been shot and killed in a Pretoria residence. But the real reason why her death was getting so much attention was the man accused of killing her.
And Oscar Pistorius, the greatest Paralympic athlete of all time, is going to take this gold medal. He's in a different league. And Oliveira is tying up. People are standing up, cheering, flashlights going all around the stadium. And Oscar Pistorius is the Paralympic champion.
Oscar was a celebrated Paralympian who had won gold in South Africa. Then he struck gold in his love life when he met a rising star on the ramp. Oscar and Riva dated for about 3 months before the fateful Valentine's night of 2013. According to the incident report, Oscar had fired 4 shots through the bathroom door. 3 of those shots hit Riva. He then broke down the door with a cricket bat and reached his girlfriend. Oscar tried to render medical aid, as did one of his neighbors, but Steenkamp did not survive. Pistorius was arrested and interrogated in connection to her death. He claimed that he didn't even know that he was shooting at Riva. Oscar insisted that he fired in self-defense, as he was under the impression that there was an intruder in the house. Pistorius' fate depended on whether he could convince the judge of this story.
It was at that point that I was just overcome with fear, and I started screaming and shouting for the burglar or the intruders to get out of my house. I shouted for Riva to get out on the floor. I shouted for her to phone the police.
During his televised trial, Pistorius took the stand to describe the events of the fateful Valentine's night.
Slowly made my way down the passage, constantly aware that this threat, these people or persons, could come at me at any time. I didn't have my legs on.
But after a while, Oscar stopped shouting.
Just before I got to the wall of where the tile starts in the bathroom, I stopped shouting because I was worried that if I shot, the person would know exactly where I was.
Then he heard a sound coming from the bathroom.
And then I heard a noise from inside the toilet, what I perceived to be somebody coming out of the toilet. Before I knew it, I'd fired 4 shots at the door.
When the sound of gunfire died out, there was complete silence. Oscar still hadn't realized that he had killed his girlfriend.
At this point, it hadn't occurred to me yet that it could be Reva in the bathroom. I still thought that there would be intruders that were in the toilet or on the ladder outside the house.
Then he broke down, describing the moment he realized that he had shot Reva.
And I sat over Reva and I cried. I don't know how long I was there for. She wasn't breathing.
Okay, we'll take an adjournment. Court will adjourn.
Everything hinged on whether the judge would buy this, as according to South African law, she would be the judge and jury of this trial.
On count 1, murder read with section 51(1) of the Criminal Law Amendment Act, the accused is found not guilty and is discharged. Instead, he is found guilty of culpable homicide.
That's the South African equivalent of manslaughter. The verdict shocked many in Reva's hometown.
Well, I think the verdict is shocking to say the least. I think there's clear evidence and indications that he did commit murder in this case.
I do not understand. I think the judge is very, very lenient on that guy, because that guy has killed an innocent lady cold-bloodedly. So I think at least the state should appeal.
But all was not over as sentencing remained, and Steenkamp's family could only hope that Pistorius would go away for a long time.
It now remains for this court to impose an appropriate sentence. To determine a fitting punishment based on fairness and proportion, I have to consider several factors.
Then she announced her sentence, which, once again, shocked everyone.
Count 1, culpable homicide. The sentence imposed is a maximum imprisonment of 5 years.
Reva's family was more saddened than shocked.
Only people that have gone through this will understand. Only once they've gone through it will they know what we feel.
The 5-year sentence was appealed, and the same judge came back with a 6-year sentence.
Mr. Pistorius, please rise. In the result, the sentence that I impose on the accused for the murder dolus eventualis of the deceased, that is Reva Steenkamp, is 6 years imprisonment.
During the sentencing hearing, Reva's father had taken the stand to describe what he had been going through.
People say it takes you 2 years, 3 years, and you start feeling a little bit better about the whole thing. But every day of my life is the same. I talk to her, and little things that come up. If I see a feather or something like that, Reva is with me all the time, yes.
But the judge didn't factor in the grief of Reva's parents when she extended Oscar's sentence by just 1 year. Oscar seemed to have won her over by showing how vulnerable he was as a double amputee.
Respect for the Appeal Court of Appeals finding. I absolutely respect it.
And in the end, the judge decided to be lenient.
Is 6 years imprisonment.
This was once again appealed all the way up to the Supreme Court, which took only minutes to come back with a much harsher sentence.
The respondent sentenced to imprisonment for a period of 13 years and 5 months.
Oscar Pistorius killed his girlfriend and spent 9 years in prison before securing an early release. But what happens when a killer loses it in court? Like in the case of Keith Ferguson, who murdered his wife while her were in the same house. On November 18th, 2014, gunshots were reported on Northwood Lane in Cold Springs Township.
It started here on Northwood Lane in Cold Springs Township at the home of 42-year-old Tiffany Ferguson. Investigators say that she and her 4 children were the only people home when Keith Ferguson shot and killed her.
The murderer was Tiffany's husband, Keith Ferguson, whom she was trying to divorce.
There was a divorce pending between him and his wife, and there were some things that have occurred that we are investigating between the two of them that probably set him off. He brought them from mother's home with him to grandfather's home.
That's when he killed his father-in-law, James Weber. The cops arrived at both locations, but Ferguson was gone.
As we were securing the two scenes of the shootings, our central dispatch received a phone call from the suspect telling us that he had taken a hostage and was in another location down on Golden Road.
Negotiators kept in close contact with Ferguson, who took a woman who he did not know hostage in her home during a 7-hour standoff.
The standoff came to an end when Ferguson gave up.
Ferguson eventually released the woman unharmed and surrendered.
At his arraignment, Ferguson swore at the judge and flipped off the court.
Mr. Ferguson, can I get you to stand up there at the podium, please? All right, I need to have you raise your right hand for me.
I'm leaving this
Okay,
court.
all right.
Just put me back in my cell.
Okay, stop.
He later pleaded guilty to 2 counts of murder in a plea deal. As per the terms of the deal, 10 of his other charges were dropped. During his plea hearing, Ferguson had an outburst when asked about the details of his crimes.
If you want to be guilty, you have to say what you did.
I'm not saying all right? Because of the respect and safety of my children, I'm not saying nothing, because they're going to see this. They don't need to hear that. Understand what I'm saying? You know, let's just make this painless and not. Give me my 100 years or whatever, and give me the out of here.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Okay, well, do it.
Ferguson kept talking back and swearing until the judge called for a break.
You understand me? I'm not doing this in front of these stupid cameras and these inbreds. All right. Don't touch me.
Ferguson was more compliant after the break.
And did you intend to kill him?
Oh, yeah.
And did you think about whether or not you wanted to kill him and make a deliberate choice to do so?
No, yeah. I'll put half a magazine in that.
He asked the judge if he could get the death penalty, then started swearing as he was taken out of the courtroom.
You can't give me the death penalty?
At his sentencing, Ferguson heard from his wife's best friend, Carla.
I knew she lived in fear, and I was so afraid for her. When I would tell her, I knew one day you would kill her, she would always reply, "He loves his kids too much. He won't kill me." Well, we see how much you love them. You love them so much, you murdered their mother and grandfather.
This time, Ferguson listened without interrupting or swearing.
Just sense me, kill me, whatever.
Then, it was the judge's turn to speak.
You may not meet the clinical definition of insanity, but there's clearly something fundamentally wrong with you. You're incapable of understanding that intentionally depriving an elderly woman of her husband, her mate for life, and 4 children of your mother, to satisfy your own selfish urges. Justice is something that deserves the most important and serious punishment. You'll never again have an opportunity to hurt any innocent people. You'll never again have the opportunity to be free.
After that, he sentenced Ferguson to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Ferguson flipped off the court in a fit of rage. But what happens when a killer's rage is directed at his wife?
I'm forced to be here to fight these charges. All right, thank you. You're here because the jury convicted you of brutally killing your wife.
Like in the case of Adam Bennefield, who shot his wife while her children were in the back seat. On October 5th, 2022, Kiara Hudson was shot to death by her estranged husband, Adam Bennefield. What made Kiara's death particularly tragic is that she saw it coming. On September 28th, 2022, Bennefield had violently attacked Kiara in a violent episode that was caught on camera. This went on for 7 minutes. With video evidence and bruising consistent with her claims, Kiara had a strong case. And Bennefield was locked up, at least initially. But because of the limitations of the New York legal system, Bennefield was released without bond.
New York State is the last state that doesn't take into account the dangerousness of a defendant to the community when considering bail.
It is extremely frustrating when you have so many steps in place and you know somebody is dangerous. You know there's a clear and present danger, yet the court has no option but to let this person back out into our community.
Hudson had tried her best to keep him locked up, claiming that if he got out, he would kill her. And that's exactly what Bennefield did. One day later, he crashed his car into his girlfriend's vehicle before getting out and shooting her. After killing his estranged wife, Bennefield fled the scene, sparking a manhunt.
Meantime, Buffalo police still need your help tracking down this man. Adam Bennefield is a person of interest in yesterday morning's deadly shooting on Richlawn Avenue.
And after a week-long run, he was finally arrested. Bennefield was charged with murder in the second degree and aggravated criminal contempt, alongside 3 counts of endangering the welfare of a child. He pleaded not guilty, and after a 3-day trial, the jury returned with its verdict.
1 count of murder in the second degree and the 3 additional counts that were included in the indictment. And they found Mr. Bennefield guilty of all counts in the indictment.
At Bennefield's sentencing, the prosecution made a strong argument for why he should never be let back into society.
We joined with the family in asking for the maximum, which of course is 25 to life. In this case, he deserves every minute of it, and any future parole board should never let him out. He did not learn his lesson from his convictions in 2000. He takes no responsibility for his actions.
But when it was Bennefield's turn to speak, he tried to play the victim.
We all lost somebody special. I lost a wife. I love my wife, and she's gone. And she was taken from not only them, but from all of us.
He tried to imply that the real killer was out there.
Even though I got found guilty of these charges, obviously with the evidence not being 100% provided so that we can utilize the truth.
He went on for 3 minutes without apologizing or showing remorse.
Because there's things that the family don't know about and everything else that may have changed the whole outcome of this case.
Finally, the judge had had enough of Bennefield making the impact statement all about himself instead of the victim.
I'm forced to be here to fight these charges.
All right, thank you. You're here because the jury convicted you of brutally killing your wife.
Interrupting me while I'm talking. I don't interrupt you, so why do you keep interrupting me? I know you're the judge. But
Okay, hear me out. I've heard enough of this narcissistic. You're a narcissist, and I'm not going to put this family
again. You're a
again.
narcissist because you're talking and you're going all.
Shut his microphone off, and if you keep talking, I'm going to do it without you. You'll be in there. I've heard enough from you.
Then the judge started yelling at the remorseless defendant.
You killed your wife. A jury of 12 convicted
A
you.
white jury that did not have any black jurors on there, and that's not law. That is a setup.
Bennefield then accused not only the judge, but also the prosecution of being racist towards him.
So you want to send me out there, I go out there, but you know what the law is, and you haven't followed it. And neither has you, and neither has you.
All right.
Everybody sat here and
Hear me out. Shut up.
I'm not going to shut up.
Get him out of here.
Get me out of here.
As Bennefield was taken out of the courtroom, the judge apologized to Hudson's children.
I want to apologize to these children, and I'm so sorry for some reason your mother ever ran into this guy.
Then he delivered his remarks, addressing the gallery instead of the defendant.
I wanted to tell him, but I couldn't take it anymore, how he could disregard the love of his child and his 2 stepchildren by taking a shotgun. And what I heard at this trial, he missed the first shot. He blew her finger off and, from my understanding, hit her shoulder. He could have stopped, and I want to tell him that.
Then he announced Bennefield's sentence.
Unfortunately, under the law, I cannot send him to jail for the rest of his life without any chance of parole. But I will give him the maximum, because if anybody deserves it, he does. It is a judgment of this court that he be sentenced to an indeterminate term of imprisonment, which will have a maximum of life. The court hereby imposes a minimum of 25 years, plus the maximum fine of $5,000.
Adam Bennefield got into a shouting match with the judge. But what happens when a killer puts on a dramatic performance?
Put this right down here, man. Here. Let's not look at your hand right now, okay? Let's not look at your hand.
Like in the case of Tyrone Johnson, who claimed to have killed his girlfriend in self-defense. On October 21st, 2018, Tyrone Johnson made a panicked 911 call.
911, what is your emergency?
I just shot my girlfriend and her for attacking me.
You just shot him?
Both of them.
Are you sure they're both dead?
Dad, I was trying to tell y'all to come and get me. And it's not an injury, so I shot. I put the gun on the floor. Tell them to hurry. Tell them to hurry up.
Johnson was still in tears when he was brought into the interrogation room.
And so I'll move your cuffs to the front, all right?
Yeah.
After being seated, he started hyperventilating.
Just hyperventilate. If you can, just breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Do it with me, ready? Just. Okay. Just breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, man, okay?
This went on for quite some time.
Deep breaths, okay? Deep breaths. Breathe in. Breathe out.
At one point, Tyrone couldn't stop looking at his hands.
Sure. Let's not look at your hands right now, okay? Let's not look at your hands. Tyrone, listen to me. Listen to me. Tyrone, hear me. Look at me. Look at me. Don't look at your hands right now, okay? Listen.
Once Johnson had calmed down, the detective started asking questions.
This is an awful situation, it sounds like, okay? Can you tell me what happened today?
And you said she's standing there with what in her hands?
The PlayStation.
She's getting ready to throw it at you.
Yes, sir.
What'd you do next?
I just picked my gun up and sorry.
Okay. Did it hit her?
I think so. I just kept firing. And then coming back and I just kept firing.
Okay.
Tyrone explained what happened leading up to the double murder. He got into an argument with Stephanie over what to watch on TV. The argument escalated, and he shot her and her son. Johnson was ultimately charged with first-degree murder. He decided to fight the charges in court. During Johnson's trial, the truth about what led to the murders came to light. Tyrone had claimed he was shooting at his girlfriend in self-defense when her son intervened and got shot.
He had just been trying to leave when Stephanie attacked him.
But the prosecution revealed that Johnson killed his girlfriend, then went looking for her, who was hiding.
He was hiding from that man right there, Tyrone Johnson. He went and hunted down that shot him under a bed.
Bullet casings were found under the bed.
We have shell casings, we have blood, we have holes in the wall.
The shell casings are right there in front of the bed, and they line right up with those 2 holes underneath the bed.
Johnson's defense argued that he was overcome with emotion when his girlfriend taunted him for his.
See why your son himself like.
Johnson had mentioned this in the interrogation room as well.
I see why my son.
The defense claimed that what happened next happened in the heat of the moment with no premeditation.
Heat of passion, not premeditation.
It was manslaughter. And as he said on the 911 call, he is so very sorry for what happened.
But this did not convince the jury, which came back with the guilty verdict. Now the question was whether he was going to get life in prison or the death penalty. Johnson pleaded for his life, claiming that he lost control. Johnson's father took the stand to testify regarding his mental condition.
He went through some mental anguish when he was in the Army.
TG did not come out of the Army the same person.
Oh, no.
But the jury unanimously decided to recommend the death penalty. Now it was a matter of whether the judge would adopt the jury's recommendation. Again, a tearful Tyrone tried to make a case for why he didn't deserve the death penalty.
I'm truly remorseful and deeply sorry. The state, knowing nothing about me, would have you believe that before you was a vicious man who went hunting for human lives.
The judge decided to adopt the jury's recommendation.
Suffice it to say that a precious child is dead. This murder was heinous, atrocious, and cruel. For those acts, I sentence you to death.
Johnson tried to play the victim after killing his girlfriend. But what happens when a killer is caught shooting his wife on camera? like in the case of Jordan Henning, who killed his wife after an argument over a slip and slide. The couple had friends over for Ashley Henning's 37th birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ashley.
But shortly after they left, the Hennings started arguing over putting away the slip and slide.
It starts over, evidently there had been a slip and slide set up, and she wanted help in taking it down, and supposedly he wanted one of the children to take it down, and things escalate.
Jordan yelled at his son to come down and put away the slip and slide. Ashley asked Jordan to stop, but he didn't listen. Jordan and his son left together. Moments later, the yelling started once again. Jordan's other son came down to see what was happening. He got his phone and went downstairs. As the argument got worse, Jordan's younger son bolted out of the house. He ran over to a neighbor's house to ask for help.
He said that my dad is super mad at my mom and she needs you to come over.
The neighbor's intervention angered Jordan further, and he got his gun. Then Jordan's gun jammed, but he kept pulling the trigger. After that, he left the kitchen to change magazines and returned to finish the job. After killing Ashley, Jordan on her. The neighbors had already called 911, so the cops arrived within minutes to find Henning in tears.
Tell me what happened. Tell me what happened.
So many years of abuse. We were going through counseling. She would not stop hurting me. She wouldn't stop. And everybody believed her.
Okay.
That she was just a good, amazing woman. And she just wasn't. She kept hurting me. She just kept hitting me. She just kept abusing me.
So she's been hitting you?
An EMS checked Jordan for injuries.
Are you hurting anywhere?
Yes, ma'am.
Where are you hurting at?
My left thumb.
Your left
What
thumb?
happened?
I swear Ashley was hitting me and I kept trying to defend myself.
Despite no visible injuries, Henning kept insisting that Ashley had hurt him.
She kept twisting my thumb.
Now, I'm going to tell you right now, you're not coming out of the cuffs, okay? And if you fight either one of my EMS workers, it's going to be a bad day for you, understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'm trying.
You're fine. Listen, you've been calm with me, but I need
my thumb.
Which thumb? Which thumb?
This one right here. She kept twisting my hands when I got trying to push her away from hitting me.
At one point, Henning begged the officer to end his life.
Please, I didn't want to hurt her.
Well, I'm
just
not.
got tired of the abuse. Please, just tell me want to hurt her. I didn't want to hurt her.
Hey, man,
she just kept
I get that.
hitting me.
I get that, boss.
She just kept hitting me. She wouldn't stop.
I get that, man.
She wouldn't stop.
I understand, okay?
He was asked if Ashley had attacked him that night.
Has she been hitting you tonight as well?
Yes, sir. As soon as our friends left for her birthday, she started beating on me and hitting on me and yelling at me, and I just couldn't do it. I told her, I said, please stop. I grabbed my gun. I said, please stop, please stop, please stop. And she just wouldn't stop.
Jordan had multiple cameras in his home, and none of them captured what he described. Instead, it was Jordan who captured shoving Ashley aside. But that didn't stop him from painting her as the abuser.
Did she hit you anywhere on your stomach? Do you know?
She hit me in the face.
When Jordan claimed that Ashley had hit him in the face, the officer tried looking for bruises.
All right, do me a favor. Look at me. Do me a favor. Look at me so I can see your face. Let me see your face.
That's when Jordan started acting out.
I didn't want to hurt her. I didn't want her.
Hey, buddy. I need you to look up here, okay?
She wouldn't stop hitting me.
I need you to look up here for me.
She wouldn't stop hitting me.
Hey, buddy, I need you to look over here for me. All right? Look to your right.
I can't.
Buddy.
She just, I don't care.
Hey, man.
Jordan got offended that the officer wanted to see if he was wounded.
No, I'm the problem. She was an angel. I'm sorry.
Listen, man.
Listen, it doesn't matter how much she hit me. She was an angel. I'm sorry. She just kept beating on me, and I just couldn't do it no more. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I get that.
I'm sorry.
Then he slammed his head while repeating,
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Hey, buddy, don't do that. Don't do that.
I'm sorry.
If you're sorry, then don't hit your head on it, man.
As he was being taken away, Jordan begged the officer to end his life.
I'm not going to do that. Absolutely.
Jordan was charged with intentional murder. He pleaded not guilty and took his chances in court. The defense claimed that Henning did that during a mental break.
He goes over the edge completely, and he loses it completely, and he breaks completely, and he takes the gun, and he shoots multiple times, and he gets in a car going nowhere, and he ends up on Rineyville Road.
But Ashley's friend testified that Jordan had talked about using the insanity defense to get away with murder.
He goes, but the difference between me and you is he goes, being military, he goes, I can claim PTSD, and because I take testosterone injections, he goes, I can say I had a rage moment and claim insanity. And I was like, yeah, you actually do have a leg up on me if something ever crazy did happen.
Jordan got on the stand to tell his side of the story.
What do you say to those things, the audio and the video?
They're horrible. They're disgusting. I destroyed lives that day, and the people I loved, and I can't bring that back, and I can't fix this situation, and I'm sorry, and I know that'll never be enough.
He described how things escalated to the point where he got his gun.
I remember hearing her screaming my name. What did I do? What did I do now? And she was saying about this slip and slide that we had talked about with Carter and the kids earlier that day, that, hey, if you're going to bring it out, and we all agreed, me, her, and him, that, hey, if he's going to bring this out, he needs to put it away.
Jordan was interrupted by a neighbor whom he put in a headlock.
I just held him there until he would stop, just stop. And finally he was tapping my leg, and I let him go, and he was like, I'm grabbing my gun.
Jordan claimed that he got his gun only after the neighbor threatened to get his.
I don't know, I was scared. I took off as fast as I could upstairs to my room where I had my pistol. And I remember grabbing my pistol and my spare magazine and just thinking, like, this is how I'm going to die. Like, my friend is going to kill me.
Upon returning, Jordan couldn't find the neighbor, which scared him further.
I ran back downstairs, and I didn't know where he went. I didn't know if he had left the property. I didn't know. And so I'm outside, and I was just mad. I was scared.
Then he saw his neighbors.
And I just remember seeing him and Chris Becker and Chris's truck pull up, and I saw that he had something in his hand, and it looked like a gun. And then
after that, Jordan started conveniently forgetting details.
A lot of it's a blur. Next thing I remember, I'm standing over top of her shooting. I didn't know how I got to that point. I didn't know it. I didn't understand how we got there.
Ultimately, it was up to the jury to decide if Jordan was telling the truth.
We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of first-degree manslaughter under instruction number 6.
The jury accepted Jordan's defense and found him guilty of manslaughter instead of murder. Ashley's family was furious.
I have one more thing to say. I've served this country for almost 22 years. 22 years in the Marine Corps. I've deployed 7 times to combat operations, combat zones. 9 times total deployed. And this is the justice that America gives me. Unthinkable, unspeakable, it's disgusting. Thank you, John. Cowards.
At his sentencing, Jordan Henning made an emotional statement apologizing for what he had done.
I loved Ashley. I miss her and I think about her every day. Our marriage wasn't perfect, and she didn't deserve what happened to her that day. I'm sorry I took Mom away from you. I'm sorry for the hurt and the trauma that I've caused you, and I'm sorry for failing you.
After that, Judge Larry Ashlock gave his remarks, starting with how the case had affected him.
Just because I'm wearing this black robe doesn't mean that things don't have an effect on you. I mean, that the were exposed to that. That has to be something that, I mean, it'll stick with me, so it's got to stick with them. The one daughter was upstairs, even watching it out of her window. The other one's hearing it, not knowing what was going on, not knowing whether you were going to shoot them.
But in the end, Judge Ashlock had to respect the jury's decision.
I'm not going to lie to you, I've had some individuals say, well, Judge, couldn't you just do away with what the jury did? I mean, things of that nature. No, I can't. Our laws are that the juries came back with a manslaughter first. I can't change that to anything else. I can't change that to murder. I can't set aside that jury determination.
He decided to give Jordan the jury-recommended maximum of 20 years in prison.
I'm going to give you the maximum in this case, the 20 years.
Jordan Henning was caught on camera killing his wife. But what happens when an ex stalks his wife and attacks her in broad daylight?
911, what's the address of your emergency?
Somebody just got in front of Tubby's. Oh my God, he's open. This is the crazy boyfriend.
Like in the case of Spencer Pearson, who tried to stab his ex-girlfriend to death. On June 3rd, 2023, Florida Dispatch received multiple reports of an active stabbing near Ponte Vedra Beach in Florida.
911, what's the address of your emergency?
Somebody just got right in front of Tubby's. Oh my God, he's open.
Okay, don't hang up.
Oh my God, there's more people injured.
Ma'am.
The guy's trying to.
By the time the cops arrived, the assailant had stabbed 2 women and attempted to slice open his own.
Where's the suspect?
The assailant was later identified as 19-year-old Spencer Pearson. The victim was his ex-girlfriend. He had followed and her mother at a fast food joint. And her mother spotted Pearson and decided to leave. He waited a few moments, then followed them once more. Then, all of a sudden, Pearson raced with a knife in his hand and started stabbing. Her mother tried to intervene and got stabbed as well. A quick-acting bystander intervened and stopped Pearson before he could kill his ex-girlfriend. The Good Samaritan, later identified as Kennedy Armstrong, also sustained multiple injuries.
I can only move my thumb fully. I have no movement in these 2 fingers, and these 2 fingers I can only move up and down like this, but it is what it is. I was more worried about the ladies being okay.
Seconds after Armstrong, another bystander joined the melee. Was hospitalized and given life-saving treatment. She was paralyzed from the waist down.
I couldn't feel my legs. I understood that it was getting hard to breathe. I think I had a good understanding of it.
But then, after months of proper medical care, she learned to walk again. She met the man who saved her life and was cheered on by friends and neighbors who also donated to her GoFundMe. While was trying her best to move on with her life, Pearson was contemplating his response to the charges brought against him. Then, on July 10th, 2024, he pleaded guilty to 2 counts of attempted first-degree murder and 1 count of aggravated battery causing serious bodily injury. During the sentencing phase, Kennedy Armstrong got on the stand to describe the injuries he incurred as he stopped Pearson.
Severe nerve damage. My ulnar nerve was cut in half. My artery was also severed. Tendons, everything else cut up as well.
You have mobility issues with, I think, one of your fingers.
Yeah, the pinky is still a little wanky.
Pearson's own father took the stand and addressed his son's ex.
You were so good to our family. I'm sorry this happened to you. I think about you every day. I pray for you every day. You're a sweet soul. You're a beautiful person. I know that.
Then he begged for her family's forgiveness.
Jackie, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I know you've had to go through a world of hurt just dealing with all of this. I'm sorry. And I just can't say I'm sorry enough. Y'all don't deserve this.
But he wasn't the only parent on the stand.
Thank you, Kennedy, for saving my daughter's life. I cannot ever express how much you mean to me and my family. You are the epitome of what a man should be, and I'm grateful for your parents for raising such a superhuman.
After thanking Kennedy for saving her daughter's life, his mother addressed Spencer.
And I want to stress all of this so you, Spencer, know who these people are, who has her back, and that you'll never get to her ever again.
But the most impactful statement came from herself. She got on the stand and thanked Kennedy for saving her life.
Kennedy, you are truly one of the most brave and amazing human beings I have ever met. Despite your own trauma, your own physical injuries, and every way this attack negatively impacted your own life, you always remained so selfless. You always reminded us that you were here for whatever we needed and never wanted any praise or recognition, but you are the hero. You are the reason we are alive, and you are who reminds me every single day that good people do exist in the world.
Then she turned her attention towards the judge.
Your Honor, I could talk for hours on end about the way that the defendant has negatively impacted each of our lives. But I think after each of these impact statements, it is apparent, it is real, it is constant, and it is daily. And every day is a reminder of just how cruel, monstrous, and evil the defendant truly is. There is no excuse for his actions. There will never be an excuse. On that day, the defendant chose to try and take my life. He chose to try and take my mother's life, and he chose to severely harm a good and innocent stranger.
Then she pleaded with the judge to give Pearson a life sentence.
Your Honor, on June 3rd, 2023, I was given my own life sentence by the defendant, and I plead with you that the defendant receives the same justified sentence and deserved punishment.
Pearson also got the chance to make a statement.
Your Honor, I'm here before you today to take responsibility for my actions on June 3rd, 2023. And most importantly, I'm here to express my sincerest apology to Madison, Ms. Roget, Mr. Armstrong. I'm sure June 3rd was the worst day of their lives. It was also the worst day of mine and always will be. On this day, I hurt 3 innocent people. I think of my terrible crimes committed every second of every day. It's on my mind constantly, and this will never, ever change.
Then he said that he needed help and hoped for mercy and forgiveness.
I need serious help, and I have for a long time. And I'm so sorry for what this has come to, and I'm so sorry for my actions. I ask for forgiveness, and I ask for mercy. I ask for the chance to get help so I can return to my family and do good in this world.
Finally, it was time for the judge to announce Pearson's sentence.
There are just certain crimes that are committed that merit the maximum possible sentence. This court finds that this is one of them.
As he announced the sentence, Pearson's mother started crying while he kept a stoic expression.
As to counts 1 and 3 of the information, you are adjudicated guilty. You are sentenced to serve the remainder of your life in prison. As to count 5, you are adjudicated guilty. You are sentenced to serve 30 years in Florida State Prison.
As he was being taken away, she came over to hug him. Spencer tried to kill his ex-girlfriend and lost his freedom. What happens when a date turns deadly?
After leaving Duke's and going to the defendant's house, Sade would never be seen alive again.
Like in the case of Maxwell Anderson, who killed his date, then cut up her body. 19-year-old Sade Robinson was described by her family as hardworking and resourceful. She had a good job and a decent social life, but she felt like something was missing.
All she wanted was love.
Love that she expected from the wrong man. Robinson met Maxwell Anderson at a local bar. The two hit it off and decided to meet for a proper date. A date that Robinson never came back from. Robinson missed her shift at Pizza Shuttle on Farwell Avenue and wouldn't pick up her phone. so her colleagues reported her missing. Her car was torched and abandoned roughly 2 miles away from her home. Around the same time, a severed leg washed up on the shore of Lake Michigan, sparking a separate investigation. Investigators concluded that the leg belonged to Robinson. More body parts were discovered in different parts of the city's north side. Anderson was the last person Robinson was seen with, so he became the prime suspect. He was arrested and interrogated, but he didn't confess to anything. He was charged with first-degree intentional homicide, mutilation of a corpse, and arson. He pleaded not guilty, and the case went to trial, where the prosecution painted a grim picture of his deadly date with Sade.
After leaving Duke's and going to the defendant's house, Sade would never be seen alive again. That night, she was murdered by Maxwell Anderson. Her body was dismembered by Maxwell Anderson in a vicious and gruesome manner, and then Maxwell Anderson attempted to make her disappear from this world by discarding her body into body parts into Lake Michigan, and then taking her car and burning it behind an abandoned building near 30th and Lisbon.
The prosecution also presented video evidence showing Anderson shortly after Robin's disappearance. His clothes matched those seen on a suspicious figure near the location where Sade's car was abandoned.
Are you able to catch glimpses of his face there?
Yes. He appears to be a white male, and also with the backpack appears to be a large military-style rucksack.
Anderson's lawyer argued that the prosecution didn't have enough evidence regarding key factors like the cause of death.
And I don't know, based on this record, candidly, how she died. I don't know that any of us do. The medical examiner doesn't. Medical examiner's unable to tell us that answer.
He kept coming back to the same point, that the prosecution hadn't proven its case beyond a reasonable doubt.
I felt this with all of you in opening, that they have the burden to prove everything beyond a reasonable doubt. And if they don't, we don't have to put on any evidence.
But that was up to the jury to decide.
The verdict reads, we, the jury, find the defendant, Maxwell Anderson, guilty of first-degree intentional homicide as charged in count 1 of the information. As to count 2, we, the jury, find the defendant, Maxwell Anderson, guilty of mutilating a corpse as charged in count 2 of the information.
At his sentencing, Anderson heard from Sade's family, starting with her sister.
When Maxwell Anderson murdered my sister, he redefined my definition of misfortune. No amount of financial hardships, disputes, or everyday struggles were even in the same realm as the effect of the loss he created. He made it... Sorry.
And try to go slow, okay?
She told Anderson that he had robbed her father of the joy of seeing Robinson succeed.
He stole my father's ability to see the work he put into raise Sade for 18 years. Pay off by having more than a year of seeing her be a happy, successful adult who still loved and appreciated him.
After that, Sade's mother stepped up to the podium.
I'm going to have to ask, I wanted to go before my daughter because I need her to be protected by this heavy demonic energy that is residual in this courtroom, this devil and his entire demonic family in this courtroom. It's very heavy to where I can't even talk.
After that pause, she addressed Anderson.
My daughter referred to you as a man. You will never be a fucking man. You're a pussy-ass bitch.
Ms. Scarborough, if you could direct your comments to me, please.
She stopped cursing for a while, but she couldn't hold back for very long.
When you touched my daughter, you fucked with the wrong family. We ain't no pussy bitches, and you should have never touched my daughter.
Anderson's dad also made a statement apologizing to the victim's family.
First, to Sade's family, there are no words that I can share that will reduce your pain. You are all in my thoughts every single day.
Finally, it was Anderson's time to speak.
From the bottom of my heart, my deepest and most sincere condolences go out to Sade's family, as well as everyone else affected by this tragedy.
After offering his condolences, Anderson asserted his innocence.
That being said, Your Honor, I took this to trial without ever once trying to make a plea deal of any kind because I did not commit these crimes. And so I plan to appeal my convictions while I hope and pray that further investigations not only prove my innocence, but find and deliver true justice.
Then came the sentence.
You are sentenced to a term of life imprisonment, and that is what the penalty is for a jury of your peers ultimately coming back and convicting you on first-degree intentional.
Maxwell Anderson took Sade Robinson on a date she never came back from. But what happens when a killer tries to play the victim?
I hope that she's somewhere safe right now, and if somebody has her and they're not safe, like, I want them back now.
Like in the case of Chris Watts, who murdered his entire family, then reported them missing.
I just want them back. I just want them to come back. And if they're not safe right now, that's what's tearing me apart.
On August 13th, 2018, Shannon Watts returned home after a business trip. The next morning, she disappeared with her daughters. Shannon's husband, Christopher Watts, appeared on TV and begged for her safe return.
I want everybody to just come home. Like, wherever they're at, come home. That's what I want. I just want them back. I just want them to come back. And if they're not safe right now, that's what's tearing me apart.
According to Chris, Shannon simply left with the kids and stopped answering her phone.
But she didn't get back to her people, which was very concerning, and Nicole called me when she was at the door, and that's when I came home. And then walked in the house, and nothing was vanished. Nothing was here. I mean, she wasn't here. The kids weren't here. Nobody was here.
Chris was concerned about his family's safety.
I hope that she's somewhere safe right now and with the kids. But I mean, could she just taken off? I don't know. But if somebody has her and they're not safe, like, I want them back now.
He appeared to be zigzagging between hope and despair.
Last night, I had every light in the house on. I was hoping that I would just ran over by the kids running in the door and just like barrel rushing me, but it didn't happen. And it was just a traumatic night trying to be here.
Watts seemed to have a perfect family with 2 children and a third on the way.
That's just the test.
I know. It just says the pink is going to be girls.
I don't know. Just the test.
That's awesome.
But behind all this was a crumbling relationship. Watts was having an affair with a woman named Nicole Kessinger. His phone was full of racy photos he had taken with her. So it was only a matter of time before Shannon found out about the affair. She planned to confront him about it after the trip, and that's when she disappeared. Watts claimed that his wife left while he was away.
She came home from the airport 2 a.m. and I left around 5:15. She was still here. And like about 12:10 in that afternoon, her friend Nicole showed up at the door. Nicole called me when she was at the door, and that's when I came home. And then walked in the house and nothing was vanished. Nothing was here.
He told the same thing to the cops.
I left about 5:15, 5:30, right in that time frame.
And she said she was going to her friend's house with kids.
But she was still here when I left.
But his neighbor's security camera told a different story. It never captured Shannon leaving the house. Chris could be seen walking out behind the neighbor's truck. Then he backed his truck halfway into the garage to load something in its bed. The truck remained there for 20 minutes before Chris drove off with the cargo in the back. If the video didn't make Chris look guilty, his reaction to it definitely did. Chris was shocked to see that his truck had been recorded standing part way in the garage. Then he started hyperventilating. The cops told Chris that no one else had seen her leaving the house.
Any action would have happened, any cars or anything left your house, I would have.
If it would have been like right in that area, they should have picked.
Oh, it'll pick up anything coming down the street this way.
You know where that tree there too?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
The officer pulled up an earlier clip to show Chris that any car going by his house would have appeared on camera.
You can see this car starting to drive down the street
That one.
Oh, see what I'm saying? It picks up all the way down there.
But since no other car was seen leaving the house, the obvious conclusion was that Shannon had left in the back of Chris's truck.
And usually at night I pick up the cars pulling the ear trim. So unless they pulled right here, but I would have caught her walking out.
Chris was arrested within 24 hours of his TV appearance.
Chris, come stand up for me. I'm going to have you face that wall over there. Yep, just face it. Okay, go and face me.
During the interrogation, Watts stuck to his story.
Like, the first day I thought, okay, she was just somewhere.
Sure.
And after yesterday, all the activity at my house, I didn't know, it went to the other extreme. I've just been like sick to my stomach that either somebody has her or she's in trouble and the kids are not safe.
Right.
He was briefed about the polygraph test that he had agreed to take.
So we do this all the time, so please don't think that you're being singled out. Like, this is one way that if you didn't have anything to do with it, that we can let the investigators know, the people that really do need to know, that are looking for your wife and your little girls, to let them know, like, you know what, don't focus on Chris, focus over here, because obviously we've already cleared him, he's good to go.
After that, Agent Tammy Lee told Watts that he would be stupid to agree to a polygraph if he was involved in Shannon's disappearance.
You know, if you did have something to do with their disappearance, it would be really stupid for you to come in and take a polygraph today.
Exactly.
Right? Like, it would be really dumb. Like, you should not be here right now sitting in this chair if you had anything to do with Shanann and the little girl's disappearance. Okay?
But Watts remained firm and willing to go ahead with the polygraph.
And it says, I hereby give my voluntary consent to undergo a polygraph interview, and I understand that this process is subject to both audio and video recording and monitoring, which we had already talked about, okay? So if you agree with that consent, you can just sign and date it.
After that, Agent Lee hooked him up to the polygraph. She started with a practice test.
I want you to write the number 3 on the line where it's missing, okay? Is I'm going to ask you if you wrote every single number on this piece of paper, okay?
Okay.
I want you to be truthful to all the numbers, but I want you to lie when I ask you if you wrote the number 3.
After asking Chris to lie about writing the number 3, the agent tested his polygraph results.
Regarding the number on the piece of paper, did you write the number 1?
No.
Did you write the number 2?
No.
Did you write the number 3?
No.
Did you write the number 4?
No.
Did you write the number 5?
No.
Good. So in essence, you're saying no to every single number that I asked you about if you wrote, but obviously you're lying when you say you didn't write the number 3 because we just both watched you write the number 3, okay?
After that, she went over his baseline reading for true and false answers.
And you're actually having a significant reaction when you lie, so that is awesome. So thank you for being a horrible liar. No, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. We don't want to be good liars, so thank you for being a horrible liar.
Then, she told Watts that the dramatically different readings meant that his lies would stand out on the polygraph.
And that just shows me that, you know, obviously on the test when we're asking, you know, significant stuff about your wife, if you're lying to that, it's going to be even 10 times more amplified, so.
Then came the real questions.
Did you physically cause Shanann's disappearance?
No.
Are you lying about the last time you saw Shanann?
No.
Do you know where Shanann is now?
No.
Agent Lee kept going back to baseline questions to have something to compare to.
Is your first name Christopher?
Yes.
Were you born in 1985?
Yes.
Are you now in the state of Colorado?
Yes.
The test was over within minutes,
This portion of the test is complete. Please remain still while I take the instrument out of operation.
but the agent subjected Chris to another test just to be sure.
Are you lying about the last time you saw Shanann?
No.
Do you know where Shanann is now?
No.
Did you physically cause Shanann's disappearance?
No.
And just like that, the test was over, and Chris was about to find out if he passed.
He did not pass the polygraph test.
Okay.
Okay. So now we need to talk about what actually happened. And I feel like you're probably ready to do that.
I didn't lie to you on that polygraph, I promise.
Watts wasn't in the mood to admit that he killed his family.
can you start from the beginning and tell us what happened?
Everything that I've told you, I did not lie on this polygraph.
Agent Tammy stood by the polygraph results.
It's not even an option right now because you did not pass the polygraph, so I know you were being deceptive, so that's not even an issue right now. The issue right now is what happened to Shanann.
And Chris stood by his innocence.
Like, I want them back home, like.
But you know they're not coming back home. You know that.
I don't know in the back of my head. I hope they come back home.
But you know they're not.
I hope they come back home.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know they're not coming back home.
Chris claimed that he might have failed the polygraph because he had hurt his wife emotionally by cheating on her.
I didn't hurt her. I cheated on her. I hurt her emotionally. I cheated on her. I feel absolutely horrible about it.
One of the agents encouraged him to confess to his dad.
Chris, right now your dad's outside. He flew across the country to help you. Okay? You're lying to him.
Chris remained silent, so the agent kept going.
You lied to everyone you talked to. And they all bought it. Will you please help us find your babies? I want to find them. I've told you over and over, I want to find everyone.
Agent Tammy brought up an interesting detail. Chris hadn't cried over his missing daughters.
Hear you talk about just having this emotional, conversation with Shanann, and you're bawling and crying together, and you have not shed one tear in 2 days that you've been here. Not one. And help me understand that, because I don't get it. These are your baby girls, and you have not shed one tear over them not being around.
Chris had no answer.
Chris, I lose my 4-year-old in the store for 10 seconds, and I start to go panic. I have not seen any of that from you at all. Help me understand that.
I love those girls. I would never do any of this because I haven't shed a tear. Like, you gotta
no,
realize.
that's weird. Is that weird?
Don't look into that like I don't love my kids.
Tell
I love
me,
my wife.
explain to me. You're crying with your wife that you're leaving her.
Chris remained steadfast in his denial, so the agents changed their line of questioning.
Are we not asking the right questions, Chris? You're asking all the questions. What are we not asking you right? What are we doing wrong? You're not doing anything wrong. Did Shanann do something? I think she did anything to these kids. We both love them with all our hearts. There's no way.
It could have been an accident. Something happened in the house that you know about.
And that question changed everything. Just the possibility of blaming everything on Shanann made Chris eager to talk.
We know that something happened to all 3 of them. But I want to know, did something happen to these first that you had to take into your own hands and deal with?
You had to clean it up for Shanann.
Chris was open to blaming Shanann for hurting kids, and the agents picked up on it.
I feel like you cleaned up for her. I feel like that's the type of guy that you are. And Shanann freaked out and didn't want to live without her.
Agent Tammy brought up another case where an entire family was killed, leaving behind just the daughter.
The only person that survived was a 3-year-old sibling. And that sibling grew up to be a total mess. No family, no mom and dad, no brother or sister, just her by herself. She says, I wish I would have died with them.
Then she connected the idea to Shanann harming the girls as Chris listened carefully.
And there are times that people freak out. I've seen it. I mean, I've been in law enforcement for almost 20 years. I've seen it. Parents freak out and they're like, oh my God, like, I can't have my baby girls live without each other. They're best friends.
After that, she brought up a case where a mother killed her daughter.
We had a mom in Castle Rock that hated both her baby girls. She's like, my husband was going to take them, and she's like, I just couldn't handle. I thought I was doing right by them. I thought I was saving them pain.
Watts thought about it, then asked to speak to his father, who was waiting outside.
Can I talk to my dad or something?
Absolutely.
Come.
Do you want to bring him in here?
No, I just can't talk to my dad. Like, I flew across the country.
Hey, Greg, how about this? If we brought your dad in here, would you please tell him what happened?
It looked like Chris was on the verge of confessing, so the agents let him talk to his father. Watts didn't seem to know that the meeting was being recorded.
They know I had an affair. And they know.
He told his dad that Shannon choked the to death.
I didn't hear anything. When I was downstairs, they came back up and they were gone.
Then he whispered that he might have done the same to her.
I freaked out. Those are my kids.
Chris had admitted to killing Shannon, and the cops had it on tape. Add to that, he failed the polygraph and the security cam footage. The cops had all the evidence they needed. That's when Chris decided to come clean.
Every time I see pictures of them, I don't know how this could have happened. Being a dad was the best part of my life. I took it all away.
Watts spoke for hours, giving the agents all the details, including the exact location of his family's bodies. Shannon's body was dumped in a shallow ditch near an oil work site, while the were in the crude oil tanks. He claimed to lose control as he choked Shannon to death. Watts got his in the truck and loaded their mother's body in the back, then drove to an oil work site. Chris Watts was charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder. Since Shannon was pregnant, Chris was also charged with unlawfully terminating a pregnancy.
Murder in the first degree as to Watts, unlawful termination of a pregnancy as it relates to Watts, and 3 counts of unlawful tampering with a deceased human body.
He pleaded guilty to all charges in exchange for the death penalty to be taken off the table.
Mr. Watts entered a plea of guilty to all 9 counts in the original complaint and information. Those counts include murder in the first degree after deliberation as to Shanann Watts, murder in the first degree as to Watts, murder in the first degree as to Watts.
Shannon's family spoke at Watts' sentencing. The first one up was her father, Frank Rusek.
Life will never be the same without Shannon. Had all their lives to live, they were taken by a heartless one. This is the heartless one, the evil monster, who dare you take the lives of my daughter Shannon. I trusted you to take care of them, not kill them. And they also trusted you, the heartless monster, and then you take them out like trash. You disgust me.
Shannon's brother also prepared a statement that was read by the attorney.
You went from being my brother, my sister's protector, one of the most loved people in my family, to someone I will spend the rest of my life trying to understand. What gave you the right to put your hands on a woman, let alone my best friend, my beloved sister, your daughters, and your son? Why weren't they enough for you?
Shannon's brother turned to Chris with tears in his eyes as the attorney continued reading his statement.
In the blink of an eye, you took away my whole world, the people that mattered to me the most. My blood is boiling as I write these last words because they are the last you will ever hear from me. I can't even think of the right words to describe the betrayal and the hate I feel. And to be honest, you aren't even worth the time and effort it takes me to put my pen to this paper.
Shannon's mother, Sandra, also made a statement.
We loved you like a son. We trusted you. Your faithful wife trusted you. Your children adored you. And they also trusted you. Your daddy sang a song proudly. I don't know if you got to see it, but it was, "Daddy, you're my hero."
Then, Chris's own parents stepped up to the podium to speak in their capacity as the victim's grandparents.
I'm Cindy Watts.
Ron Watson. Thank you. And I have authorized you to make a statement to the court as paternal grandparents.
Chris's mother spoke about losing her granddaughters.
Families have been irreparably broken by the needless deaths of Shanann. This is something we will never get over.
But she refused to say anything negative about her son, who had killed them.
As your mother, Chris, I have always loved you, and I still do. I hate what has happened. We love you. And we forgive you, son.
Chris was also given a chance to speak.
Would you like to make a statement? No, sir.
He let his lawyer do the talking.
Although he understands that words are hollow at this point, he is sincerely sorry for all of this.
Then it was time for the sentence.
With regard to count number 1, murder in the first degree as it relates to Shanann Watts, the court is going to sentence you, sir, to a life sentence in the Colorado Department of Corrections, followed with no possibility of parole.
Chris had tears in his eyes as he was given life sentence after life sentence.
With regard to count 2, as it relates to murder in the first degree, the court is going to sentence you to life in the Colorado Department of Corrections with no possibility of parole.
Chris Watts killed his entire family and will spend the rest of his life in prison. But what happens when a star lawyer tries to get away with murder?
I would never, under any circumstances, hurt my wife Maggie, and I would never, under any circumstances, hurt my son Paw.
Like in the case of Alex Murdogh, who killed his wife and son in cold blood. On June 7th, 2021, lawyer Alex Murdogh called 911.
This is Alex Murdogh at 4147 Moselle Road. I need the police to ambulance immediately. My wife and shot badly.
Alex was asked if any of the victims had shot themselves.
How did they shoot? Did they shoot themselves? Oh no, hell no.
He implied that the killer might be one of his son's enemies.
He's been being threatened by my son had a boat wreck. It's been for months and months and months. And you don't know the name of who was threatening him at all? My son knows. And my son knows.
The cops arrived at the Murdogh property, where a distraught Alex was waiting for them.
Somebody going to check him?
Yes, sir. They've already checked them.
They did check him?
Yes, sir.
This is official that they're dead?
Yes, sir. That's what it looks like.
He was in tears and could barely finish his sentences.
What's her name?
Her name is Maggie Murdogh.
Okay, and what's your son's first name? You said Paul?
Paul Terry Murdogh.
Alex claimed that his son was involved in a boat wreck that made him a target.
The only thing that what comes to my mind is my son Paul was in a boat wreck a couple years ago. And there's been he was charged with being arrested for being the driver. There's been a lot of negative publicity about that, and there's been a lot of people online, just really vile stuff. But when Paul's out and about, I mean, people routinely, I don't think I know the full story, because I don't think they give it to me, but I mean, he's been punched and hit and just attacked a lot.
Initially, the cops believed Alex, but as the investigation continued, they kept finding more holes in his story. One of the things that didn't add up was that Alex had admitted to handling the dead bodies.
Did you touch Maggie at all?
I did. I touched them both.
Okay.
I tried to do it as limited as possible, but I tried to take their pulse on both of them.
But his clothes were spotless.
Could you describe the defendant's hands when you saw them when you read them? How would you describe his hands?
They were clean.
How would you describe his arms?
They were clean.
How would you describe his
Clean.
How would you describe his sword?
Clean.
How would you describe his shield?
They were clean.
Alex cleaned up before the cops arrived, but there was plenty of evidence that he couldn't get rid of.
Particles characteristic of gunshot primer residue were found. So for the white t-shirt, from the particle lift that was collected from the right sleeve, right chest area, 2 particles characteristic of gunshot primer residue were found. And from the left sleeve, left chest area, the particle lift collected from there, 1 particle characteristic of gunshot primer residue was found.
Murdogh was arrested and charged with 2 counts of murder.
All right, you turn around for me. You didn't tell you that?
He pleaded not guilty and went to trial, where the prosecution asserted that he had a strong motive for killing his family.
There was a huge difference between who Alec Murdogh professed to be to the outside world and who he really was, that only he knew, that no one else knew.
The prosecutor argued that Murdogh killed his wife and child to get sympathy and to hide his financial crimes.
The day of reckoning was upon him, and he was out of cards to play after he's been playing every card he could for 10 years.
Murdogh's former colleague and friend, Ronnie Crosby, testified about his alleged financial crimes.
It was clear what had happened and that this money had been stolen.
When it was Murdogh's lawyer's turn to question the witness, he lost his cool.
Have you had to come out of pocket to pay back the money he stole?
Yes, and if you...
How much?
Don't tell me you don't know.
Well, we're still counting, Mr. Harpootlian.
Well, how much have you paid so far?
We have had to borrow millions to pay back.
No, how much have you had to come out of pocket?
Well, when you borrow it, you got to pay it back, and I couldn't tell you how much has exactly been paid back as of we sit here today.
The lawyer implied that Crosby's anger towards Murdogh made him an unreliable witness.
But yes, and if you're implying that I would come in here and somehow shade truth in any way because of that, I would take high offense with that, Mr. Harpootlian.
I'm concerned about your high offense. Are you angry at him for stealing your money?
I have no feeling one way or the other.
I don't have any feeling about Alec Murdogh betraying you and stealing your money. I admire you. I don't know that I could look beyond that.
But the most shocking part of the trial was when Murdogh got on the stand and admitted to lying about his whereabouts.
I wasn't thinking clearly. I don't think I was capable of reason. And I lied about being down there. And I'm so sorry that I did.
He still maintained his innocence and claimed that he was caught in a tangled web of his own lies.
But once I lied, I continued to lie. Yes, sir.
Why?
You know, oh, what a tangled web we weave. But once I told the lie, I told my family, I had to keep lying.
Needless to say, Murdogh was unable to convince the jury of his innocence.
The State versus Richard Alexander Murdogh, defendant. Guilty verdict. Signed by the forelady, 3/2/23.
At his sentencing, the judge asked Murdogh what he meant by the tangled web he mentioned in his testimony.
Oh, what tangled web, weave? What did you mean by that?
It meant when I lied, I continued to lie.
And the question is, when will it end? When will it end?
After that, the judge announced his sentence.
In the murder of your wife, Maggie Murdogh, I sentence you for the term of the rest of your natural life. For the murder of Paul Murdogh, whom you probably loved so much, I sentence you to prison for the rest of your natural life. Those sentences will run consecutive.
Murdogh continues to claim that he is innocent.
I respect this court, but I'm innocent. I would never, under any circumstances, hurt my wife, Maggie, and I would never, under any circumstances, hurt my son, Paul.
Alex Murdogh killed his wife and son and will spend the rest of his life in prison. But what happens when a killer spends 10 days trying to murder his wife?
He spent 10 days killing Angela Craig.
Like in the case of James Craig, who spent months trying to plan the perfect murder. James and Angela Craig had the perfect relationship. Angela would often visit Craig's dental clinic and lend a helping hand. The couple had 6 children and were raising a happy family. But it all came crashing down when James received a text from his wife complaining about dizziness and nausea. Angela was soon hospitalized. After a while, her condition got worse and she was put on life support. James rushed to be by her side. He was with her when her vitals crashed and she died. Sympathies poured in for James as his peers and neighbors knew how much he loved Angela. But investigators found out one crucial detail that changed everything. They learned that James Craig had set up a side profile to secretly research poisons.
One particular Google search: how many grams of pure arsenic will kill a human?
He had also used this profile to place multiple orders for arsenic. But apparently, that was not enough. Craig made another order, this time for potassium cyanide. He had it delivered to his clinic. He texted a staff member that he would be receiving a personal package and that no one should open it.
Jim Craig had said, "Don't open this package." Somebody did. She sees the words potassium cyanide. Why are we getting potassium cyanide to a Colorado dentist's office?
She told Craig's business partner Ryan Redfern about the suspicious order, which overlapped with Angela's medical episode. Ryan contacted the police immediately. Craig desperately texted Ryan asking him not to make matters worse by inserting himself into the matter. The text also emphasized that he had no obligation to talk to the police.
I'm trying to think of all the innocent applications of the phrase, "please don't talk to the police." I can't come up with any. It's a desperate effort to try to keep Ryan from cooperating any farther with law enforcement.
The investigation took its course, and the authorities learned that Krug had been lacing his wife's protein shakes with arsenic. They also discovered that he had an affair, which might be the motive behind the poisoning scheme.
One of the oldest motives in the world, other women.
Krug was charged with first-degree murder. He pleaded not guilty. In court, 50 witnesses came forward to testify against Krug. Then, the prosecution presented its strongest piece of evidence: security camera footage from the hospital where Angela was on life support. Krug could be seen leaving her room and entering the bathroom. A minute later, he came out with a syringe, which the prosecution claimed had potassium cyanide in it. This, and the fact that Angela's vitals crashed soon after he took that syringe into her room, made it obvious to the jury that Krug had poisoned his wife.
He spent 10 days killing Angela Krug. Angela Krug was innocent. James Krug is guilty.
But the defense made one last attempt to convince the jury of his innocence, saying that he was a bad husband, but not a killer.
You know what they proved? They proved beyond a reasonable doubt that this guy was a pretty crappy husband. He cheated on his wife constantly. They did. They proved beyond a reasonable doubt that he was not faithful.
Then came the verdict.
As to verdict form, count 1, murder in the first degree. We, the jury, unanimously and beyond a reasonable doubt, find the defendant, James Krug, guilty of murder in the first degree.
Krug did not look too happy with that verdict, but the victim's brother felt relieved by it.
You didn't know until the very second the verdict came out. And you're like, thank goodness. Oh my gosh. I wouldn't even call it bittersweet, it's just relieving.
Despite that relief, he carries the guilt of feeling like he should have done something.
We were there and he killed her right under my nose. We took her to the hospital and that's the last time she was ever gonna.
At his sentencing, Krug heard from Angela's family.
Angela, Dawn, Krug, and her 6 wonderful children will, because of you, will have to go through the rest of their lives without her in it. Her loss has left a void in my life that can never be filled.
Angela's brother pointed out that he had selfishly taken away so much from his own children.
Because Jim decided satisfying his lost needs, financial issues, and desires was more important than having his children raised by a mother who loved them. Because of the selfishness, greed, lust, dishonesty, and narcissism of Jim Krug, this bright young light has been extinguished.
But the strongest impact statement was delivered by his own daughter.
I was supposed to be able to trust my dad. He was supposed to be my hero, and instead he'll forever be the villain in my book.
Then it was time for the judge to speak.
Dr. Krug unleashed a path of destruction as wide as a tornado and just as devastating. Damage to his children, damage to Angela's family, damage to his own family. None of the individuals that are here in the courtroom before the court today will ever be the same.
After that, Krug was given the mandatory sentence for his conviction.
Murder in the first degree, the class 1 felony. Court hereby sentences Dr. Krug to life without the possibility of parole.
Krug hung his head low and had tears in his eyes as he was taken out of the courtroom to serve his sentence. James Krug killed his wife by poisoning her protein shakes. But what happens when an angry partner turns into an axe murderer? Like in the case of Ewen Dewett, who was angry at his partner and wanted to make her pay. Ewen Dewett and Julie Murdogh were having relationship problems after being together for 3 years. Dewitt's anger issues were only making things worse. At one point, he threw a playpen at Murdogh's head while she was carrying their son. After trying to make things work for years, Murdogh finally decided to leave Dewett, and he did not take it well. He kept pestering her, so she filed for a restraining order. He left her 200 text messages, many of them threatening, all in a matter of days. When she showed the text to the cops, they said that they couldn't do anything. Then, on December 6, 2022, Dewett did what Murdogh was always afraid of. He showed up at her condo with an axe. After breaking into Murdogh's home, Dewett hit her 13 times with an axe right in front of her son. Minogue's other son saw DeWitt fleeing the scene and called 911. DeWitt was arrested and charged with murder and home invasion, alongside risk of injury to a child. He pleaded no contest in a deal where he could get a fixed sentence of 40 years in prison. At his plea hearing, DeWitt appeared calm, at least in the beginning, but then he got angry at the prosecutor and started cursing him out.
Uber.
The judge told DeWitt that he would be kicked out of the courtroom if he had another outburst.
If outbursts like that continue, I'm left with no other choice but to ask you to remove you from the courtroom. That'd be great.
DeWitt kept up his smug attitude during the victim impact statements.
I often lie awake at night thinking about the last few moments of her life and what they must have been like. I can't imagine the fear and the pain in those last moments of her life.
He denied me and my family the right to see my daughter, even before her funeral, because he hated her. And we couldn't even see her or say goodbye to her.
Despite the emotional statements, DeWitt wasn't moved. He remained smug and defiant as he received his 40-year sentence. Ewen Dewett used an axe to kill his wife. But what happens when a killer keeps his victim's skull in his house?
I picked up the coconut object and it ended up being the top portion of her skull.
Like in the case of Michael Haim, who almost got away with murder. On January 6th, 1993, Bonnie Haim went missing. Despite the authorities' best efforts, she could not be located.
We began an investigation into the disappearance of Bonnie Haim after a citizen found her purse in a dumpster on the north side and when she failed to show for work.
Her son, Aaron Frazier, was only 3 at the time, and one of the detectives heard him say, "Daddy hurt Mommy." Bonnie's husband was a suspect in her disappearance, but the case went nowhere because the cops never found her body. Aaron grew up wondering what happened to his mother, and the answer to that question would reveal itself in the most unexpected way. He was removing the outdoor shower when he noticed skeletal remains.
Oh, this could be her. I thought it was a coconut. Like, it looked like a coconut. It did not look like bone. It wasn't until I saw the teeth that I knew that it was her.
The DNA test revealed that the remains belonged to Bonnie.
The remains were positively identified as Bonnie Haim. An arrest warrant was obtained for Michael Haim with charge of murder.
Haim pleaded not guilty and chose to go to trial.
Mr. Haim, did you kill your wife?
In court, Haim's son got on the stand and described the exact moment he realized that he was looking at human remains.
I picked up the coconut object and it ended up being the top portion of her skull. I looked at it. I had it in my hand. I didn't really see anything. I handed it to Thad, and he looked back in the hole, and we could see teeth. And at that point in time, you could see the top portion of her eye sockets.
The prosecution also presented photos from the scene of the discovery. At one point, Haim's prison mate got on the stand to testify against him.
We just made small talk, and he started talking about, how he killed his wife and how he choked her.
Haim told the inmate that his wife was having an affair.
He got pissed off and he beat the shit out of her.
But the most shocking testimony came from Haim himself. He was asked why he didn't express any grief or sadness after Bonnie's disappearance.
You were nonchalant about Bonnie's disappearance.
I think I was quiet. I don't know the word nonchalant would be what I would call how I was. I would call it maybe shocked when it all first happened and really didn't understand.
Haim had also stopped talking to Bonnie's family and friends.
After the first couple of days, I never spoke to them again.
Tell us why.
Why?
Yeah.
I'll tell you why. Because they accused me from about the first day at the Red Roof Inn that I killed my wife.
At one point, Haim's lawyer asked him point blank.
Basically, everybody wants to know, did you in fact harm your wife?
Absolutely not. I love my wife and I would have never hurt my wife.
Now the question was whether the jury would believe him.
Verdict. We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of murder in the second degree as charged in the information.
During the sentencing phase, Haim's son once again took the stand.
I do not know what a fair sentence would be. I do know that every day Michael Haim was free, I lived in fear that he may come and get me like he said he would. I was the one person on this planet that had knowledge of what he did, and could stand in the way of his liberty.
Then he asked for the maximum sentence for his father.
I would ask that Michael get a sentence that would ensure that I do not have to be concerned about running into him ever again.
And that decision was up to the judge.
I'm going to adjudicate you guilty of second-degree murder and sentence you to a term of life imprisonment. You have credit for the 140 days you've served. Court costs will be imposed of $253. You have 30 days to appeal both the judgment.
Haim was caught after his wife's skull was unearthed in his backyard. But what happens when a killer convinces everyone that his victim died of natural causes?
I cannot understand why no one would listen. My mother was murdered and no one cares.
Like in the case of Dr. Martin MacNeill, who used his medical experience to almost get away with murder.
She said, if anything happens to me, make sure it wasn't your dad.
Dr. Martin MacNeill and Michelle Summers got married on February 21st, 1978. Over the coming years, they had 3 children and adopted 5. The MacNeills were a big, happy family. But as the years went by, the couple started having problems. And 29 years into their marriage, at least one of them was completely checked out. Dr. Martin was having an affair, and his family became suspicious.
When my father turned 50, he started acting very strangely. I thought he was just going through a midlife crisis at first. He became just very obsessed with losing weight and his appearance. Going to tanning salons.
He lost weight.
He lost weight. He'd start exercising just all the time, just in the middle of a conversation, jumping and doing push-ups, things like that.
It was really bizarre. I mean,
really
very
strange.
Very out of the ordinary.
MacNeill's wife noticed this change as well.
She was suspicious.
She thought that her husband was having an affair.
She confronted him and asked if he was having an affair. MacNeill said that he was simply taking care of himself and encouraged Michelle to do the same.
My mom had never talked about that before or anything. She'd never been into plastic surgery or anything. No, it was a full facelift. She saw my dad tanning, getting all in shape. And so I think, my mom was just a little concerned too. Oh, well, maybe I should do a couple things, maybe that will help.
MacNeill encouraged his wife to go through with the surgery.
My dad was very pushy. I said, what's the rush? Oh, well, we have everything set up. We have the anesthesiologist is reserved. We need to do it.
Besides persuading her to go under the knife, MacNeill also decided which medicines she would take.
Martin came in with a list of things that he wanted Michelle to have that he said would help her. Michelle ended up being prescribed Percocet, Loratab, Valium, Ambien, Phenergan.
And that combination was dangerous.
These were all central nervous system depressants, and they were never meant to be taken at the same time.
While Michelle was recovering, MacNeill made sure that he was the only one around her.
After the first night of having my mom home, my dad told me to leave. He said, I'll take care of her medicines tonight.
When Michelle was seen next, she looked much worse.
She was completely sedated and out of it. And I went right to my dad, and he said, oh, I think I gave her too much. And he said, oh, and your mother threw up. So then I gave her more medicine. I said, Dad, don't give her any more medicine. I'm going to take over.
Michelle didn't trust Martin either.
And at that time, she had an eye patch on, so she couldn't see, what he was giving her. And she said, Alexis, your dad, he just kept giving me medicines. And so she told me, she said, give me each of the pills so I can feel it with my finger. So if he tries to give me something else, I'll know what he's giving me.
Michelle shared her doubts with her daughter, Alexis.
She started to cry. She said, if anything happens to me, make sure it wasn't your dad. And I said, Mom, I kind of got upset.
But in the end, Alexis had to return to medical school, leaving Michelle in the care of Martin MacNeill.
They dropped me off at the airport. I just remember looking back and seeing my mom and waving.
The next day, Michelle was found dead in her bathtub. Her death was seen as a natural one since she had passed away due to a cardiac episode. Michelle's daughters tried to tell the cops that their dad had killed her.
We went to the Pleasant Grove police. We said, we have this new information. We know about a girlfriend now. They took no notes. They didn't even listen. They acted like we were out of our mind.
They fought for months and got the authorities to look into Michelle's death.
So I got information from the daughters, and I got enough to get an investigative subpoena.
That's when they learned that Martin MacNeill had forged his transcripts to get into medical school.
I found that the transcript used for Martin MacNeill to get into medical school was totally falsified. Instead of taking his transcript and altering it, he got somebody else's.
Then he sent off one of his adopted daughters to Ukraine and used his social security number to create a new identity for his girlfriend.
He gave his daughter Giselle's identity to his girlfriend.
The same girlfriend he was having an affair with while Michelle was alive. The same girlfriend who showed up at Michelle's funeral.
Why would you go to her funeral? Who invited you?
No one invited me. I just found out where it was.
You crashed her funeral?
I had felt sorry that I had been involved with Martin inappropriately.
Her name was Gypsy Willis, and Martin had introduced her as a live-in babysitter.
Why did you move into the home?
Martin told me that he needed help with his younger children.
Were you still sleeping with them?
I was.
But instead of taking care of the kids, she ended up replacing one of them.
Martin decided to send Giselle back to the Ukraine for the summer for what was supposed to be a very brief trip.
But MacNeill had no intention of bringing her back to the U.S. because he was using her identity to set up a new one for his girlfriend. He edited Giselle's birth certificate to make it age-appropriate for his girlfriend.
Gypsy Willis used the identity Jillian Giselle MacNeill and alleged that she was the spouse of Martin MacNeill.
MacNeill and his girlfriend were charged with identity theft. MacNeill was sentenced to 4 years in prison and lost his medical license. While he was in prison, the authorities were investigating his role in his wife's death. And on August 24th, 2012, he was charged with her murder.
The defendant asked Dr. Thompson to also prescribe Percocet and Valium. Dr. Thompson did agree to prescribe all 5 of these drugs to Michelle, but did so because her husband was a doctor and was her primary care physician and would know how these drugs should be properly administered.
The prosecution asserted that Martin MacNeill had intentionally mismanaged his wife's medication to cause her death.
Alexis asked the defendant what he had given her. He stated that he had probably over-medicated her.
The defense tried to discredit Michelle's daughter, Alexis, who was a key witness.
The evidence will show that Alexis has made multiple inconsistent and inaccurate statements about the events surrounding her mother's passing.
MacNeill's neighbor testified that she offered CPR when Michelle was unconscious.
They lifted her out of the tub and put her on the floor, and I said, I know CPR, I'll do the compressions if you want to do the mouth-to-mouth, and we started that. And I just did 1 round of compressions, and Doug said, I can do that, you go out and wait for the ambulance.
Besides dismissing the CPR, MacNeill also stopped her from calling 911.
And when I came in to the bathroom, I could tell that we needed to call 911, so I said, I'll call 911, and he said, I've already called 911.
Another witness described what MacNeill did with Michelle's pills after she died.
He wanted Damien and I to open each bottle of the prescription drugs and to make a count of which drugs had how many quantities of pills in them.
And did you and Damien do that?
Yes.
Was Martin still present when you were doing that? Yes. Did Martin say why he wanted to count the pills?
Martin had mentioned something like how Michelle, he wanted to know how she died. She wasn't taking her prescription drugs, and he wanted to see if there was something missing.
But MacNeill never wanted to count the pills. He wanted to get rid of them.
After the count was done, what happened?
Martin seemed frustrated, and he's like, I don't want to do this anymore. And then he asked me to flush the pills down the toilet.
MacNeill's lawyer kept trying to discredit the witnesses.
Witnesses were told about investigative theories of the case, which tainted their objectivity. Witnesses were told about what other witnesses had said in the case.
At one point, MacNeill's own daughters testified against him.
He specifically said to me that he was concerned that there'd be a police investigation, that he didn't want anyone to think that he murdered my mother.
As if that wasn't bad enough, MacNeill's prison mates also testified against him.
Anyway, he said he gave her some oxy and some sleeping pills and then got her to get in the bathtub.
Did he say what he did next?
Later on, he just said he had to help her out. And I asked him what that was, and he said he held her head under the water for a little while.
And I just went up to him and said, hey, man, I apologize about your wife. And he goes, I'm glad the is dead.
Okay, will you speak up when you answer?
Yeah, he said, I'm glad the is dead.
After hearing overwhelming testimony, the jury came back with its verdict.
We, the
jury, having reviewed the evidence and the testimony in the case, find the defendant as to count 1, murder, guilty. As to count 2, obstruction of justice, guilty.
MacNeill was sentenced to 15 years in prison.